ladies and ghetto,
Girl.
ladies and ghetto men.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like we
say
haven't done the spaces in like 3 weeks.
we haven't done one since the eighth. I think it was the eighth we did.
Dang.
Yeah, we did one. Yep. Because remember, Milan had Camp Flog Gnaw, and
Oh yeah,
then it
yeah.
was one week where it wasn't really much going on, so we felt like we didn't really have much to talk about.
So basically, it's just been a long ass year in the last 3 or so weeks.
Hmm.
Got it.
I want to yell mustard so bad right now. I want to yell mustard so
Hold on.
bad
Come on.
right now. I can't help it. That or reincarnation, I want to yell so bad right now. Like, I don't think y'all niggas understand. I need to yell it, scream it, embrace it at this moment. There is nothing else I want to do besides yell mustard.
Mustard!
Y'all are so silly.
Wait, sis, you gotta do reincarnation. You gotta do reincarnation. Reincarnated. Like, whoa, like, sir, relax, relax.
Oh shit, that hurt my throat. Oh god.
No, I ain't
Oh,
gonna hold you. I think Kendra did like 15 takes of that, which is ridiculous.
that nigga held that Mariah Carey note. Wow, that's crazy.
He really said,
That's
"I,
crazy.
bruh." Okay, we gonna get
Remember when
into
she
it.
did
I'm
We
really
Belong Together, the ending of it? And we
we
belong
belong
together.
mustard.
Now don't make me make a mix of that now. Wow. Okay,
Please
never mind.
do.
Sorry.
We
If I
belong
see if
Please
I see
don't.
any of you niggas with my idea, I swear for God, I'ma hit y'all up.
Bilal, you gotta you do it so it could be like we belong
I'm gonna do that shit tonight.
mustard. No, I need like random, like just random moments of people yelling into mustard. Like I really
I'm not
need
gonna
that.
hold you guys, right? I feel like, DJ perspective. I'm not. I need y'all niggas to relax. I need y'all to relax.
Okay.
Okay? It just dropped. I don't need to hear no mashups right now. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm
Okay.
not gonna hold you. I need
Okay.
I need to digest it a little bit. Like y'all confusing me because I'm hearing the mashups and then I want to hear this. Give it a week before we do mashups to new music. Okay, that should be a new rule for all the producers and DJ cultures. Like let's sit with the project first because the day it came out, I saw like 17 different mashups. I'm like, you niggas work fast. Relax a bit.
I think niggas is excited because we was all waiting for a
Hmm.
Kendrick album. So as soon as the shit dropped, they like, yeah, it's time.
And I think because there's so many like samples and influences on the album, a lot of people were
Yeah.
trying to start. Really, what I've been seeing less of like random mashups. Like you know how like for instance when Beyonce dropped 16 Carriages, they did the Maxo mashup. Instead of them
Mhm.
doing it like that, it's more like for instance, Man at the Garden is mashed up with one mic. So it's like they trying to play around with the samples
I
and
did like that one.
I
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a fan of those ones, I would say, but it's like you put in like Flowetry Yes with another song. Like, come on. Let's relax a little bit. Let's take a seat. Let's
Not
relax,
somebody put
guys.
say yes. Somebody put say yes on Dodger Blue.
Let's
They
let's
finna piss
let's
me off.
relax. I get it, but give it a week.
Y'all heard it from a real DJ. Give it a week. So all y'all producers and DJs in here, just give it a week. That's what DJ Miss Milan saying. Can we
Like, I
please?
don't gotta
Can we get
listen
a
to
clap?
me. You feel me? But it's cool.
I mean, I would listen to somebody who was just on tour with Doshi. I would definitely listen. I would definitely listen. That was gonna
Nah.
take everybody. Okay, so we see a couple of y'all requesting. Give us a second because we know everyone is excited and we're just as excited as you guys. And I feel like this is real. Everybody's been telling me we've been waiting for y'all so we can break this down. And I didn't realize that nobody has really given everyone a space to really contextualize this together. So I know we're all excited and we're excited to talk with y'all. Like, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I can't remember the last time. I mean, Kendrick's been the biggest excitement this year, but like this just feels really exciting because it feels less about the beef and more about what he's trying to do in the culture. So I'm always here for that. But before we jump right into the album and before we start bringing people up, I do want to um get you guys' initial reactions on the project because I know like I just texted the group chat and was like, "Yo, he dropped," and everybody, Milan was like, "Wait, you're joking?" I was like, "No, I'm dead ass." So, what was you guys' initial reaction to the project dropping?
I mean, for me, it was like a spiritual confidence boost all at once. Like I feel like out the gate. a lot of that first record was very affirming for me. And just hearing some of the things that I tell myself for the last couple of years, because I really got more into spirituality when I had moved to LA. A lot of people in LA are very spiritual, and a lot of the people that I was around were putting me on a lot of game and putting me on different books to read, and I was really into that at that point. So a lot of the things that I was reading on and just learning about myself, he affirmed a lot of that in that first record. And for me, like just the first listen through, I just had so many feelings. It's so layered. Like I just like I was excited. I was overwhelmed with just how much variety he gave us. Like I feel like we are so used to a certain style of Kendrick Lamar, and he gave us so much shit to work with in this album. Like he gave us like that super LA West Coast sound on a couple of the records, and he gave us classic R&B throwbacks with like it just was a lot. So for me, it was super exciting just to hear all of that because it made the project even more digestible for me because I don't know what I'm getting in the next record. Like every time you going through the tracks, it's just like I don't know what's about to happen. Um, and I think for me too, I appreciated that it wasn't just like this whole project full of disses. And to me, it was more so. It felt more uplifting than it did. Like just a continuation of the beef, and I really appreciate that because I really didn't want to hear a continuation of it. Like I feel like obviously he addressed some of that stuff in the album because I know he's still sick about a lot of that shit, but I don't feel like it was just a whole package of Drake disses. Like I feel like he said a lot of things in hopes of inspiring us and affirming us and reaffirming us. And there just was so much that I still have to unpack. Like I'm listening to some of these songs still and still have not gotten through all the lyrics. And it's just a lot. And I guess that's my first initial reaction was just like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to sit with this shit for like a couple months to be honest.
That's if we have a couple of months, because who knows where this Gemini being may go 2025. But I hear you.
Milan
To that
Jazz.
point too, before
Oh,
y'all go, I also my initial reaction was I don't think this is the actual like the last thing we're gonna hear from him. I think there's gonna be another album release or EP or something right before the Super Bowl.
agreed. Agreed.
Here, what you said before?
Oh no, I was saying for I thought y'all had finished. So I was saying I want to get y'all opinion, but I agree with
Oh,
Jan too. Yeah, I don't think this is the last one. We definitely getting something either. I don't think we're gonna get it before the Super Bowl, but at this point, like you said, who knows with this Gemini nigga? But I definitely think we're gonna get it around the Super Bowl for sure.
yeah. I feel like for me personally, PTSD from Kendrick just dropping randomly really did a doozy on me because I didn't know exactly what to expect. But I mean, they did say, I mean, whoever you want to credit this to, they did say there was talks of something being dropped from him, somewhat of like a project or whatever, but there was no discussion. You know what? Kendrick came back like Jesus. I ain't gonna hold you. You know, he really came through the clouds on that white horse and was like, I'm here to save all y'all niggas sins real quick. And I appreciate that. But I was very surprised by the drop and when it did drop, to be honest with you, because this is something that Kendrick is not. He's not following like guidelines or none of this shit. He's just doing what the fuck he wants to do, which also just shows how much star power and superstar power we can say that he truly does have. I kind of did expect something to drop, but I was more so expecting the album to actually drop. And when this dropped and listening to it, I really don't think it's a album. And I know we had this discussion over like, albums versus mixtapes or whatever. I really do believe this is a mixtape, especially with him showing love to a lot of the LA artists that he did put on. He literally made like a pop out album, a pop out mixtape, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And that for me, I appreciate that because there had been a lot of conversations that we had seen about, regional sound and like what exactly does that look like? What does it sound like? And I think he is sticking to what he knows best, which is his sound being that West Coast and also really giving the West Coast even more light. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not saying that West Coast music, because I love West Coast music very, very much so, but it's been a minute that the South has been taking over, and like, even some drill music has been taking over. So now I feel like we're gonna hear because of the surge of like West Coast music. Now we're gonna hear like even more of it because of him, and also him just putting on like other LA artists that he fucks with too, which puts us on. I feel like similar, it gives me a little bit of the Cowboy Carter way in the instance where he's putting on people for us to like have some visibility. I mean, yes, they are artists already, but him shouting them out, putting them on, puts them on a bigger light and a bigger scale. So I do appreciate that, and that's why I do think this is a mixtape, and I do believe something else is in the works. Just how he's moving like the boogeyman for sure. You don't really know his next move, but I can definitely feel like this is not the ending. Like this was just I need to get this off my chest and really connect with y'all niggas, as well as put on with other people, especially now that we can safely say that the dust has settled and all of the, smoke has cleared. So this what for me was that project for. But I do believe his artistic being that he is gonna definitely come through with this next album. And the rollout, he's already set up the rollout from this beef to this mixtape to Super Bowl coming up to being nominated at the Grammys. And I know he's probably gonna go home with the win. And then this alleged world stadium tour that he's supposed to be going on. That's when I think the new music is gonna hit, right before that tour is announced. But yeah, I fuck with it. I do fuck with it. Of course, I like Jan said, I do want to sit with it some more because there are certain things that I still want to digest from it, because we all listen to shit the same time and the same same timing or whatever. But I want to really like sit with it and listen to it like DJ ears are like anybody that listens to music. You can't listen to music in one setting. You got to kind of listen to it in at least several different settings. I need the car test. I need the headphones test, not the AirPods. You gotta use the wired joints, y'all. Don't use the AirPods, use the wired joints. And just hearing it outside in the club and like outside type of shit. Cause I think that's what it was for like They Not Like Us. I think like having those different tests and stuff like that really brought light to the record. It's like, nah, I could bump this shit on my iPhone. I could bump this shit in the car. This shit go crazy in the club. So for me, I just need that different experience. But there's definitely certain songs that I'm already like a fan of, and I'm sure we're gonna like dissect that as we go on. But yeah, that's my take on it so far.
Before we go to
Yeah, I
Kia, I
agree.
also wanted to add from Milan's perspective when she's saying she's surprised by just a surprise drop. I also want to add the layer that from the DSP's perspective, we didn't get a heads up either. So we had no clue this shit was coming, and it basically was us scrambling when it came. So to me, that just kind of is an extension of his fuck the industry shit that he been on. And it's literally it's that. It's like I'm not doing what the industry says. I'm not going by y'all timelines. I'm not doing the whole rollout shit and letting y'all know that it's gonna be here on Friday. None of that. Like when it come and y'all better be ready was the energy that I got from that release.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the label
to
didn't
your
know
point.
shit.
Yeah, to your point, I was gonna say from the journalism point of view, I know the press release we got calls it an album. So I'm gonna continue to call it an album because that's what they're calling it. And you can tell that even from the press release, they kind of didn't know that this was coming either. A lot of times, like when you get those press releases, even if it is a major artist, they'll still include like a little bio or some type of information to go with it. There was literally just it says Kendrick Lamar releases new album GNX, and then it has the link list in here, and then it has the photo credit, day free, and then it says for approved artist images and album artwork, please download here. They gave us a Google Drive link, and then they gave us the PG Lang media contact. That was it. So it seemed like even they were a bit like, because this is like I'm telling you, I've gotten all types of, and this was like, whoa, there's nothing here. Like there wasn't no track. Usually they'll at least include the track list with the features. It was nothing, just like photos. Here's the photo credit. Have a great day. It was just like, whoa. So I'm gonna just keep calling it an album because that's what the fuck they called it. So
But
that's
do
what people
do
say.
do the DSPs even really consider anything? Because I don't see anything where the category is a mixtape anyway. I think they just call anything that's a full project an album. in that regard. Like I never see them say, "Hey, this is a mixtape," or you know what I mean. I probably
Hmm.
like LP, EP shit, whatever, but I never see it be like, "Oh, this is a full blown mixtape." You know, I feel like I don't know. That's
I
just me
think
though.
the general public was trying to figure out what this was because I remember people thought it was like
Yeah.
Untitled. Like, you know how Untitled was kind of like, okay, is this a mixtape? Is this an album?
Yeah,
Like, I think that's how people feel about it. But if he gonna call it an album and that's what they're gonna put in the press email, then I'm gonna just run with album. But it does. I can't say it doesn't give album because in a sense it does. Like the level of production and like like writing and just the themes and the thought, like it gives album, but it also does feel like that Untitled feeling of like this is just a prelude to the real shit that y'all about to get. Um,
it's an appetizer.
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
and I would say to answer your question, we don't have that classification on the back end at the DSPs to put it in as a mixtape. So it's more so how we speak about it. When we're talking about the album, how it's been written, how it gets written about, like that kind of comes from the artist and the team, whether it's called a mixtape or an album. And I know mixtape also comes from the blog era too, and a lot of that stuff wasn't available on streaming anyway. That was just stuff you would either have to download or get a copy of it physical.
Datpiff.com. What's good?
Yeah, so that's an extension of that. So we don't have that classification, but for example, like Dochi, it would be in the system as an album, but it's a mixtape, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
Jazz, what was your initial reaction to this before we jump into the album? Well, we don't know what to call it no more.
Okay, and y'all know first off rip, I was boo-hooing, bawling my eyes out. So I'll definitely say, first instinct was tears, tears of joy, but also tears because I feel like as a collective over the last 4 years, since COVID and Nipsey and Kobe, I think we've just been through a lot, and I feel like sometimes we underestimate how much we've actually gone through. So to have a voice for the voiceless, somebody like Kendrick that can really articulate those emotions, those feelings every single time, I'm always grateful of that because I think sometimes in this new age, and we talk about it a lot, like this new age media or this new, like way of doing or handling journalism or, like lyricists and intellectual property, I think is gotten a little muddy. But to have somebody like Kendrick say, you know what, fuck all this shit, let me put pen to pad and really say word for word how I'm feeling, and like amplify anybody else who's feeling like this, like that really was inspiring to me. I also think too, following what you guys were saying, this is definitely like an appetizer because I still want the record that was snippet on YouTube. Like whatever was the like release, that pre-release we got, that second half of that song, um I want that. So that makes me feel like we're about to get an album as well, just hearing that snippet. Um Mentally, I'm still at Man at the Garden. I know we're going to dive into some things, but yeah, I just love that he keeps like family and God at the forefront in whatever he does. And it also made me really think about like family ties too, because I feel like Kendrick is somebody that is also good at like plotting or like planting these seeds and they grow. And I feel like a lot of what is discussed throughout this album, he kind of was even hinting at when you go back and listen to like Family Ties, like because he was kind of fed up then. Like I think Family Ties, he was kind of fed up, but then over the last couple of years, it's been so much more hoopla that he's just like, yeah, get me out this matrix. Um, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts, ladies.
Kia, what are your initial thoughts? You didn't even tell us yours.
Right.
Malama, why you say it like that, right? My
You ain't low, bitch. That's what you.
little bitch. I ain't gonna hold you. It was taking a lot out of me to not talking like my little fake West Coast voice on the Twitter page because I was like, then they're gonna call me a colonizer because I ain't from the West. They gonna call me a colonizer. Um, I mean, yeah. Okay. Obviously, we love music, we love hip hop. So obviously, when moments like this happen, it just gets me excited. Regardless, it could have been Drake dropping a project. It would have just got me excited in general because I love when the artists that we love keep themselves challenged. They keep themselves motivated. They like, fuck this shit. I'll keep changing the narrative on my own story. I don't care who the fuck. Cole could have dropped a project. If the shit was good, I would have been talking about it. Like, I just love when our artists take control of their narrative, especially in music. So that alone just got me excited. Especially because I really thought we weren't going to get nothing until the Super Bowl. So the fact that he was like, nah, I'm here, like, I think there's been this narrative going around about him that he's like out the way. I mean, he is out the way, but like Kendrick drops when he wants to drop, when he has something to say, and it seems like right now he does have a lot to say. So we just got to embrace that and take that in. So that was my first thing. Just excited that he even is giving us something worthwhile talking about. You know what I'm saying? The second thing is just like, I cried when we talked about this in the chat, but like, I've been feeling pretty and I feel like being transparent is important right now because maybe if I am, then it could like maybe help somebody else or like just get y'all to understand. But like this has been a really rough year for me personally. I've dealt with a lot of grief this year. I just lost a family member. It's the sixth family member I've lost in my family in 3 years. And I've been just dealing with a lot of grief, a lot of like frustration about the industry that I work in, the things that I deal with in life. And I've been feeling a lot of anger, but I think because I've been caught up in this idea of what healing looked like to me, I didn't realize that another part of healing is the anger. And so the grief has kind of been building up and building up and building up. And it was a very frustrating week for me. And I had a really damn near mental crash out moment at the top of the week. So when the project dropped, and I'm listening to it, and it's like, damn, Kendrick feeling how the fuck I'm feeling. I'm like, yo, like I know we've been talking about, how spiritual music is, and we'll get to that when we get to certain songs. But like it really was this moment of like, yo, like fuck anything beef related, anything like this is what it's about, like making shit that connect to people. And just even when I tweeted that, it was mad people saying, yo, I'm so angry. I've been dealing with so much grief this year. I've been so just frustrated. Damn, I didn't realize I was that angry. And it's just like I don't want people to run away from that. I need niggas to embrace that. Because obviously even what Kendrick is saying is like I have to like I had to heal myself so that I could get to this part of myself to where I'm like, now I'm angry about what the fuck I had to heal from. So let's change this shit. Like sometimes from anger, like in cultures, there's this thing of like burning the village down or like cultural burning, where you literally just burn everything down to rebuild it again. And it's a renewal process. And sometimes we view fire as a fear when we need to like think of it as almost this warmth that we need to run towards. And I got that from Kendrick and I got that from this project. So yeah, I don't know. Like it was just like man, I'm still at Man at the Garden. Obviously, y'all see my name is Key at the Garden because Key is still at the Garden. Uh,
I just noticed that, Kia.
Key is at
I see.
where's my location? At the Garden. I don't even know what garden we at. Madison Square Garden, the garden down the street. I don't know. His garden. We can be at any garden. I'm there. Just know I'm next to everything that's in the garden. The flowers, the roses, all of them. I'm there. But yeah, I'm still stuck there. TV off is like I know we're gonna get to it, but like all I keep seeing is the Super Bowl in my head, like the do 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 do, like, and it's making me lose my
Right.
fucking mind. But yeah, I'm ready to get into the album. But yeah, that's just my general idea of how I'm feeling right now based off the initial listen and feel of it, you know?
I
Yeah,
love.
I also
Oh,
think
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say my bad, Milan. I was just gonna say, speaking on grief, I just feel like sometimes grief is something that we also think is just like there's so many stages to it. And I also think, like sometimes you don't just grieve like people, you can grieve like relationships, jobs, different habits and things like that. So I definitely think grief was something that came to mind too. But yeah, my bad, Milan.
No, it's all good because I was gonna kind of say the same thing about that and just the layering of vulnerability that honestly speaking if we can be real, like that shit was missing in music. I think the long lasting legacy music that stands the test of time. Sorry if y'all heard my little my ringtone, but that stands the test of time. That shit is vulnerable music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the guards are really changing. The veil is truly being removed, and we're re-entering a space where the vulnerable, the real niggas is back up. I'm sorry. A lot of the fake shit, a lot of the superficial shit, the fucking smoke and mirrors, like I said, the dust is literally on back on the ground. And a lot of niggas has turned back into dust, which makes sense why he would say man in the garden. Cause you know what I'm saying? Hello, somebody. But yeah, a lot of shit is just changing back for me for the better. And I agree with you, Kia, on the whole thing about like you shouldn't be afraid of the fire. Sometimes, if not most times, nigga, I don't mind burning the fucking bridge, nigga, because I'm gonna build others. And that's perfectly fine with me. Like, it's cool. You feel me? So yeah, we gotta burn this shit down. And even from the musical sense and even a political sense, like, nigga, we gotta burn all of this shit down. Everything and
Hmm.
everybody gotta go. And we gotta start from fucking scratch. But starting from scratch is a beautiful thing. And like you said, I think more people need to embrace the fire versus running away from it, because the only thing you can do from being at the bottom is going up anyway. And I think that's just what burning shit down ultimately puts you in a position to build up from.
Facts. I had to cut my grandmother off last night.
Cut your grannies off if they not with the
I
shits.
had to cut my grandmother off, man. She had to go. Look, if niggas ain't,
Granny, I love you.
I might cut my dog off. Cause honestly, if niggas ain't seeing the vision, then it just gotta go. Zoe gotta
You gotta
go. Everybody
go.
gotta go. I'm
No, for
sorry.
real. The job gotta go. I don't care what name
Everybody.
it's attached to. No.
My neighbors gotta go. Like,
Yep.
I'm sorry, you gotta get evicted. I don't even run this place, and you gotta go. Like, I'm sorry if you ain't seen the. I'm
And
sorry. It was
honestly speaking, like, because I know we're gonna get into it, but that line too, like, I don't know if niggas really caught on to that line. I really don't think niggas really. I know it sounds funny to, most people when you first hear it or whatever, but for me, when I heard that shit, I was like, oh, he's on my type of time. Like, for real, because everything and everybody could fucking go if you don't see what I got going on. If you're not supporting what I got going on, I don't give a flying fuck. Everything
Malak.
can go.
Malak.
Everything can go.
Yo.
I'm mad that we let you hold out the F too. We let you hold it
That was my version of mustard.
mustard. Oh my god, I gotta start remixing my Mary J. Blige remix. Crispy chicken, fresh mustard, and just go from there.
Yo, Kia, shut up.
I'm just I just gotta go from there. All right, so let's jump in. We going do y'all want to bring people up now as we start to jump into the album?
I would say I have one more thing I wanted to kind of piggyback off of Jazz, and I think we should bring up
Uh-huh.
the two requests so that they can say what their first initial reactions were, and then we could jump into the album.
And if you
Um,
do want to talk on stage, y'all, please request now while you have the time, the space, and the opportunity. And also understand this is our condo. So when you see the four of us talk first, you must be silent because this is a dictatorship in this bitch, okay?
nah, but I did want to just say I appreciate you, Jazz, for adding just kind of like that context for grief in here because I think for me, I'm personally grieving like my idea of what the industry was supposed to be. Because I've been working
Ooh,
alongside the industry for
ooh,
about
deep.
10 years. But a lot of the stuff that I did was industry adjacent. It wasn't in the industry yet. So my first role came in 2022 with Pandora. And at that point, I had been romanticizing what a role like this would look like as far as a long-term career. And it's like, it's been really hard to just kind of dead the idea of what I thought the industry was because it's just not that. Like the smoke and mirrors disappeared by the time I got into the industry, and now that
Mm.
we've had all these layoffs and just like this changing of guards, it's even shifted beyond the first point that I had got into it from what that was. So it's just like there's just all this changing and shifts and like these realizations I'm now having to make about like is this even gonna be something I could do in the next 10 years because is streaming gonna be around that long? Is it gonna be valuable that long? Because you see now, like even with playlisting, when streaming first came about, a lot of those big ass playlists like a rap radar or not radar, rap caviar, you would break an artist with a placement there. You're not
Yep.
breaking talent with playlists
Hmm.
anymore. That's not a thing. So if
Playlisting
that's
does
a
nothing
yeah, well,
technically.
it can help you grow your
It
audience,
could
but
get you
you're not gonna
something, but yeah.
yeah, but it's not you're not gonna break an audience or artist with one placement. It's just that's just not a thing anymore. So with a lot of these just different understandings of what shit is now versus what I thought it was or what it used to be, I'm grieving that like I'm grieving the career I thought I would have because I'm definitely not gonna have that commitment.
Oof. That's real. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that, sis. Cause it's something I've been navigating too. And you and I have been soul sister students thing. You've been somebody that's been a safe space for me to be vulnerable about that. So thank you for reassuring and sharing that because it's so real. And I think sometimes when we think about grief, we forget about, that aspect of it.
Mhm. So I think with that in mind, I think hearing a lot of the affirmations in the music, it helped me. It reaffirmed me as a person outside of the industry shit. Like I'm still her without the job, and I needed the reminder.
Because
Amen.
it's in you, not on you. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
motherfucking Tyler. And even that, like if we want to be real, like even Tyler's um chromatopia, like even that shit and just how much beautiful affirmations is in that shit. Just from the very first fucking song, just his mom saying what she's saying, like, don't you ever let these nick, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it really is a belief, like, nothing lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? Nothing truly does last forever. We would love to do the things that we are doing forever. And scary pivots is a thing, especially in the industry that is constantly switching and changing and doing what it does. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to remind ourselves that we are the ones in place and the ones that have the power to make and create because we are the creators at first and we come from the creator himself. So that being said, I feel like we always gonna be all right. And on that note, I really want to say before we even get into it that I appreciate this space so much because I know like we really be getting deep with some shit. And I think it's intentional and I think it's important too because I don't know what other spaces do, but I know for us, like for us to have a space where people could come and really talk about grieving and talk about shit that's really happening in their lives. And we all are just like, you know what I'm saying, open to it and can discuss it and tie it into the music. I really love this reasonable dialogue space. So I just want to say that, y'all.
Word, shout out to Kendrick Lamar for paying
Period.
for it.
Hello.
Shout out to you. I really appreciate it. Can't wait for the PG Lang pack. We appreciate you. We got some folks
Uh,
up. We
Yeah,
got
I was
some
literally
folks
about to
up.
say. So we got some speakers up here now. Let's start with who was in here first? Ray, then music exclusives, then Day, and then Young Hefe.
Young Hefe in
Hey,
the
hey,
house.
hey. So let's see. The first initial reaction. First of all, hi everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. Happy Lord's Day. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen. What that shit that. Okay. So my first initial reaction first, I had got up and I seen a little post and I'm like, okay, Kendrick put some. Okay. It's a little snippet. All right. Text my brother. All right. Kendrick dropped something. I say like 10, 20 minutes later, I see a notification say he dropped the album. What? Dropped the album? Hold on. Call in a frenzy, literally like sliding down the wall. What the hell? Kendrick dropped. First, just like initial listen, I'm just standing by my phone, like, what is he gonna say? What is this gonna be about? What is this? What is this? And like all the expectations I had dropped. And it was just like, oh no, this is like an eye opener type of project. This is something to like keep us like motivated, especially with everything that's fucking going on. And it was just like, damn. So I'm getting ready for work, on my way to work, and I'm listening to it, and I feel like when you're going somewhere or like doing something is like the best time to try to listen to an album because you can kind of dissect the words or some of the things you're not really paying attention to the beats. Maybe it might be moving a little bit, but you're listening to the words. So I'll say when I got to Man at the Garden, I was just like, damn, I do deserve it all. Like, wait a goddamn minute. Hold on, wait. You speaking. I do deserve this life. I do deserve to step in my power. I do deserve to heal. I do deserve to let go of the things that I know that don't no longer like have a hold of me. Like, I deserve everything that I'm manifesting, all of that, so on and so forth. So it's like when I listened to the whole thing, I really was just sitting there like, damn. Like this, it spoke to me. Like it really like what Kia was saying with the whole like fire thing, like and like grief and stuff. Like I feel like I'm at that point of just looking at that lighter and like, should I just throw it or should I just like just stir at the flame? So it's like I'm in that transitional part of like, do I really want to burn everything down or do I just want to grab that one little thing? But something is just like, burn it down, let it go, move on. So I know this is like about Kendrick, but I'm going to step into Tyler a little bit about like grief and everything and like stuff that's like
Is it just me or
tying
did his
into.
audio cut out?
Oh, oh,
No,
oh.
I could hear him.
Okay. So like I feel like it was a balance with this Kendrick and this Tyler album because it's like it kind of hold this idea of like it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to let go. It's okay to take away any mask or let go of anything that no longer fits you anymore. And I feel like they both, especially coming from the West Coast and the kind of like wave that is bringing of just uplifting West Coast and West Coast music, I feel like both of them releasing the album, well, projects. One's an album, one's a project. Both of them releasing a body of work to be able to like embrace and grieve and let go and just let us know like it's all right. Like it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good. Let's turn up. Let's have a good time. But it's okay to make sure that like you are taken care of. So it's like I really appreciate what he's done to drop this just out of the nowhere, out of the blue, because shit, we've been feeling fucking down. Like we lately we've been feeling like damn the world fucked up. Like damn, like the world is fucked up, and what the fuck can we do about this world being more fucked up than what it is? And with Kendrick releasing this, kind of just give us more empower to just move forward and just do what the fuck we need to do. So yeah, that's my little take on that. Fucking love it.
Okay.
Luther is the shit. Period. Point blank.
Thank
Thank you. We
you.
appreciate it. Everybody, we can just kind of keep it just a little short because we do want to get into the album and we want to go through each song. So who was next? Jan, you said. Wait, Jan, you there? Jan, can you hear me? Or
I
is
can hear
Jan?
you. I can hear you. I can still hear you. Wait, could
I can
everybody
hear you
hear
too.
in the chat? If everybody could hear in the chat, please like put an emoji or something, audience included. If you can literally hear us talking and the
Yeah.
people talking, we just need to see like if people can hear us right
You should hear
now.
me and Milan
Okay.
right now. Hopefully.
If you can hear.
Okay.
If you can hear, motherfuckers, do what we ask. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know where Jan went, but um, I don't know who was next, and I don't want to like jump out of order. Do y'all remember who was
Um,
next?
I think it was damn, who was up here? Oh well, music is music still on the stage? I don't know.
See, music exclusive is showing up for me as a listener and not as a speaker.
Same.
Um, okay, so then they must have went back down. Let me see, because I know they were there to speak, but I don't know. Music, if you still want to speak, please request yourself because it doesn't look like you're on the stage now. But if you do want to speak, just request because you actually were next. But in the meantime, in between time, we'll
Okay.
go
I
to
guess we'll go
Black Boy
to.
Infinity, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Young Hefe. Yes, I remember Young
Mhm.
Hefe, and then we'll do Kenyatta and Heron.
Okay. Sounds good.
What up, y'all? Happy Sunday. Wait, quick. Yep. Hold on. Sorry. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we can
hear
hear
Okay,
you.
you.
cool.
Mhm.
First reaction, I'm standing there in the kitchen. What the fuck? Seen that shit. I'm automatically put the phone on Do Not Disturb. What got off of social media, and I just had to sit there and listen with it. And I'm like, all right, let's lock in. I feel like initial listen, I'm like, I'm not really going to fully like get the full grasp of it. Second listen, when I'm going in, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel like the whole project in itself sounds like a segue. And for me, it was almost like a very controlled kind of rage, like almost like I got shit to get off my chest before I get on and move on to what else I really got to say right now. And it's not even on some like, oh yeah, there's mad shit going on, whatever the case is. He's like, nah, this shit is like personal to me, to parts of like, yes, to the West Coast sound in itself, and I want to like make this more of a local and a very communal kind of sense thing as I'm having this kind of controlled rage. And so I got this very communal feeling from it in itself, which for me as like a native New Yorker and hearing like sounds that are like from West Coast in itself, it made me like appreciate West Coast more than I initially did. I'm not even gonna hold you. And so for me, being able to kind of like sit with that and kind of like hear it from start to finish in itself, it gave me different perspectives of just like controlled rage. What does kind of like community look like in itself when it comes to that controlled rage? And then also in itself, what I found interesting is I appreciated the aspect of it being like fully surprise of a drop. Like when y'all were speaking about like how it is that DSPs and different journalists in itself are like processing the press releases or how it comes to, and just knowing that the full system of like how it goes with like the marketing or like the promo and everything, it's just like, nah, I just got shit to say right now. Here y'all go. We ain't even gonna get into all of that. Just take this. I got some shit to say, and then we'll get into everything afterwards. And for me, I really appreciated that shit. Cause then sometimes it's like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like makes it so much more genuine to enjoy and so much more like everybody drop what they doing, pause. Everybody just pause. And for me, I don't know. It just made me appreciate it even like way more as I continued listening through. Right now, top tracks that I keep going back to, definitely Man in the Garden and definitely Luther. And like I said, still listening through, but still processing. And yeah.
We've renamed Man at the Garden to Key at the Garden.
Let's go to Kenyatta. Ooh.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Um,
Hey.
I think something I've been digesting. I really haven't listened to anything else but this album since it came out, and that's like No Gas, because like I feel like just as a body of work, it maintain like this shift that it feels like he's been making throughout this entire process of music releases, even through the diss tracks, where it was like the overarching message about the need for a cultural reframing or of experience reframing, storytelling reframing, even how we look at ourselves as um, individuals, as communities, as hip hop, like all of it. Felt like this album project release kind of took that and put that in a position where it was like I'm officially the spokesperson for what that is. And I think it was so important that that got put out the way that it did without any extra sauce put on it, because it allowed for the people to be just as attached to what it seems like he's doing musically. I think two tweets helped me to contextualize that really well. One was somebody was like, I think it was like academics. Somebody posted that Andrew Schultz said, "Is Kendrick too woke to understand a joke?" or something like that. And somebody quote tweeted it and was like, "Yo, woke is starting to feel like a slur. Like, start slapping these niggas when they say that." That reminded me of a different interview that Nipsey had about academics and how he's spoken to culture, and just being able to see the way that the music itself, even though Kendrick isn't directly telling people to go do things, it's triggering responses in people, and it's triggering and provoking people to look at, you know, themselves with a little bit more pride, with a little bit more confidence, and a little bit more self-respect and dignity. And then Yan tweeted something that was that was I think fire. She was talking about how important it is to separate this internet culture and the way that people have been communicating about the music, particularly hip hop, from real life, and how a lot of people got lost. And it feels like this project is helping people to remember, like, yo, he's speaking from real experiences. This is music that's attached to real life, living real things, and that disconnect is getting exposed in a way that's still really beautiful, um, and poignant. I haven't even gotten a chance to like dissect lyrics, but just off of feel, I think that shit was ill.
I also want to just jump in and say I appreciate that you tied Nip to this because granted this obviously had nothing to do with Nip. There was no Nip bars in the project, but I felt like the same way that I felt listening to a lot of Nipsey's music is what I felt listening to this project. Like I just feel like I don't know, like I felt my brain chemistry shift when I listened to a lot of the stuff he was saying, and I really like even just the conversation around spirituality and this essentially affecting us, a lot of us spiritually. I tied that to a Nip interview when he's talking about how music comes about and that whole process is spiritual. So to act like this stuff is not, this is not where this stuff stems from is like, I don't know, man. Like niggas really gotta touch grass for real because all of that stuff is tied to each other. And I just love that a lot of the music and just the shit that he's standing on just comes from a very real place of y'all need to again, like you said, have some pride in yourselves and essentially like talk about the culture a little bit differently because the shit y'all be saying is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like we need to get away from that and really like hold some of these people to the fire who do that shit because we are by letting them slide with a lot of this shit, like essentially we are co-signing it without co-signing it. And shit is crazy. Like we've gotten so far from integrity that you got him being named, academics being named the number one fucking media personality or whatever the fuck. Like shit like that is wild to me.
Yo, there's
It's crazy.
oh, Jazz, you cool if I just do like a real quick response?
Oh, please go ahead. I was just saying it's crazy because, yeah.
I bet. I was just gonna bring up like um I think it's what Man in the Garden or Men in the Garden, but the moment I heard it, like the moment I heard it, I was like, yo, this is like Nas's One Mic, right? And so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to it. It's one of my favorite Nas records. So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to it. And when you hear Kendrick repeat, I deserve it all, it felt even more like spoken word. It felt even more like if he was just on that stage speaking to people, even though he's talking about himself, it, going back to like the spiritual aspect of music, like it feels as if your internal dialogue is also saying that to you through the music that is happening and that you're listening to in real time. And that goes back to like I feel like that like to everybody's point so far, like that is what makes I think him special. I think that's what makes him in this pocket that he's in right now special. Like I was telling my girl, like I personally wasn't too in tune with Pac growing up. Like I was still young, and then also because of like being in Brooklyn, like I just wasn't as leaned into West Coast sounds as much. But as I got older, I understood it conceptually. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get more info and you see more things and you start studying and doing your homework. Like I understood it on a more surface and technical level. But it feels very much like this moment that Kendrick is in as an artist feels very Pac like in terms of energy and the way that it's speaking from a cultural level about self identity. Like how we look at ourselves as Black people in America, how we look at ourselves as Black people in hip hop, in music, in creativity, in all these different things. Like that, almost like a chant of "I deserve it all" is mad powerful.
Exactly. And it also reminds me of like that's how I knew from Nip. Like you're literally just
One
chanting
thousand percent.
affirmations, and I loved that about this project.
Yeah. It also reminds me, and I would love y'all opinion on this. It also really heavily reminds me of 444. Like, I feel like ever since
Yes.
Hove released 444,
Wait, Jazz,
we've seen.
I'm sorry because we
I'm
did
sorry.
have some people up here and they didn't even get a chance to say their initial reaction because y'all just started going off.
Because it's so good, but
I
no, that's
know,
just
but
what I
I
wanted
wanted
to
to give people
say.
their chance to get their shit off too because we were gonna go through the album in order. So y'all can. It wasn't you, Jazz. I was trying to let the conversation go, but I was like, damn, it was people that came up here.
No,
I
you
wanted to get
good.
their
But
reaction.
that's all I wanted to say, though, is that 444, I think, it has inspired a lot.
Who was next after Kenyatta? Because then my brain kind of. Milan, do you remember?
Heron, Young Hefe. I see we have KP was right that joined on after. So yeah, so
Wait, can y'all
Heron
hear
next.
me? Because now y'all saying she can't hear me. Eli,
I can hear
Eli,
you.
I can hear you too.
yay! And she can't hear you either, Milan. Ah!
Damn, I think it's yeah, it's a glitch day as usual.
This is ghetto. Elon's gonna pay for his crimes, and I don't think.
But yeah, it was Heron, Young Hefe, and KP was right. That was next.
Okay, so yeah, whoever is lined up next, just give us your initial reactions. Don't go into what song you like. What we're gonna get there. We're gonna go through the album. Just give me your initial reactions.
Peace room was good. Um, uh, this is a great discussion. I'm still going through the album. Um,
Heron, are you speaking?
yeah, y'all can't hear me.
I can hear you, but I don't think my
I can hear you.
co-host can.
All right,
This is so
I'll just get through my
ghetto.
point right now, real quick, since some of you can hear me. See, what we're seeing right now is just a temper point, and what we have to understand is that nobody beats the math at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Consuming bullshit isn't sustainable. The universe will heal itself. Equilibrium and homeostasis is inevitable. You know, everything that stands in existence is an extension of artistry. For some time, we were children and gorging on candy, you know what I mean, and all of the turn up shit. And now we're belly aching, and your grandmamas are standing all over us right now, talking about, yeah, you see what happens when you engorge on bullshit. Now we are fiending for some sort of substance, in the culture, and we're understanding that a lot of the stuff that we were engorging on just wasn't conducive to our survival. So in closing, I'll just tell y'all real quick, what I mean, we really need to return to the integrity of R&B music, hip hop, and other black dominating genres. And as I sat here and watched, all this going on for close to 20 fucking years, I will say this: we are committing crimes against our ancestors by literally disgracing the bloodshed and the memory of their struggle to tell our stories on stages, man. I'll pass the mic on that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, we're still trying to figure out technical things, but I agree 100%, especially with, I think the spiritual aspect of this is really what's going to carry a lot of this conversation because it feels like all of us are kind of at that same point, or we feel that same way just about our heritage, blackness in America, just, even the relation to spirituality. I took it a little bit further and even said hoodoo. So yeah, I can't wait to get into that with you guys. Who is next after Huron?
Young Hefe, and then KP was right. And then Alda just joined, so that will be the last person that is there for this
Okay, Hefe,
portion.
you up here? Because I'm not seeing any. Oh, yeah, there we go. But
Yeah, I'm up.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm up.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm up. I just quiet. What's that, y'all? I'm gonna try to keep it short, only because I'm literally at work right now. I didn't think I was gonna do it, but I was gonna just get some quick shit off. So first and foremost, I would say as someone who has been a fan of Kendrick Lamar since 2011, when I got introduced to him through one of my Cali friends in college, I feel very fucking vindicated with everything that's been going on. I feel very vindicated. So I just been building. I've been happy. I've always known the nigga was who he was. You know, our first reaction. I was at the gym when it came out, so I finished working out. So I clicked on IG. I saw he posted on his Finsta page that he had a video. So I assumed it was that, and I found out that he dropped the album. And so then off the first listen, I was like, okay, sounds like he on bullshit. But then the more I got into it, the more I got into the album, it was just like, okay, he on Machiavelli side. And so I had to say, man in the garden. I think I think you need to just wake up first thing in the morning, talk to God, just sit down, be quiet, just let that motherfucker play, and just use that as affirmations. Because listen, I receive every last thing and word that nigga said in that song, and he's speaking to my soul and my spirit as well. And I appreciate all y'all talking about transitions and grief and everything that's going on. I got my own personal stuff that's been going on with me, and shit it extended back into shit during Mr. Morale. Like shit, I've been grieving about a lot of shit since 2019. So it's been like grief on top of chain of events, and also as well just grieving where it is I'm trying to go, and also me also being a writer and a journalist, rap journalist on a smaller on a smaller scale. It was just like seeing where things were going. I'm at a point where I'm currently just trying to just figure out my moves and just transition and just listen to Kendrick's music. Like always, just I relate to it not only as a creative but as a black man that's just experiencing life in the world. And also, I appreciate spaces like this because, again, hearing everybody telling their story just reaffirms that I'm not the only one. We all really are in this shit together. You know what I'm
No, facts, we definitely are. And nigga, the fact that you at work is like when Kendrick said, "Have you ever?" What he said, "Have you ever flipped an unemployment check?" Felt that.
saying?
Um, but nah,
Yep.
I really appreciate you coming on while you at work. And it's been so crazy, like, cause a lot of people have been saying, like, "Yo, I be at work, yo, I be da da da," and I'm like, "Yo, capitalism, it's gonna be the death of us, bro." But I appreciate your support,
Yeah.
for real, for real.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. Come
Absolutely.
again.
Of course. Appreciate y'all ladies for doing what y'all doing. It's
All
also
right. Can
just,
y'all hear me?
y'all
I
what
know we're
y'all
going to
doing is
say, can
perfect.
y'all hear
What
me
y'all,
like
what
50,
y'all doing.
11,000
Milan,
times?
Milan, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Can you
So
hear? Oh,
I can hear
oh,
you.
go ahead.
Sorry about
Oh, you couldn't hear Hefe. Oh,
I
okay,
could I could hear him on my laptop. I had to do a little yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But
that. Nah, I was gonna give y'all
next
y'all flowers
up
real quick.
we have
Wait, wait, Milan, he was trying to give us some flowers. He was trying.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's
Nah,
okay.
y'all good.
My
Y'all good. I
apologies,
was just
beloved.
saying
I
like,
didn't mean to cut you off, brother man. Go
nah,
ahead.
you
Give us
good,
some
you good. I
flowers
was
in
just
this
saying
moment.
like, I was just saying following y'all and listening to y'all, listening to y'all pages between Kendrick and what he's doing, listening to y'all
I'm
like
on my
it's
laptop
kind of
too.
reinvigorating
I
my
think the
creative
phone
spirit.
audio is delayed.
Oh
Oh,
shit, it might be me.
the phone audio is delayed. Got you. Okay.
It might be me.
No, 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 no. You're good. It's just we really are
Okay.
doing technical support right now because like Spaces is just not cooperating with us. But yeah, you can.
Elon Musk bitch ass can go to fucking hell.
Ooh, y'all really are angry. Kendrick was right. Y'all mad. But no, we appreciate. We know the love. If you want to tweet it to us, that'll probably be better because honestly, this shit glitching mad, like mad crazy. I'm sorry. But thank you, Hefe, for coming up here.
No problem.
KP and then Al, if you could just tell us your initial reactions, and then we're gonna get into this album. I'm ready to get into the album. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Thank you, Keith, for sending me down a rabbit hole to try to figure out reincarnated, and I figured it out. It
Wait, we're gonna
was,
talk about
it,
that because I need to hear your theory.
oh, oh yeah, it's no, it's John Lee Hooker. So shout
Wait,
out
not
to
yet,
him.
not yet. We're gonna get there, not
Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then, secondly, what my initial reaction was, Not Like Us made a lot of money because all them samples for a mixtape is hilarious. And and then lastly, I think what Kendrick did, I love how he places himself and gives homage to the greats. Jay-Z with the Super Bowl, Nas with the shout out, even with Biggie with the line. Like so, Kendrick always give his homage to his forefathers, and that's one thing that I appreciate. And then lastly, I'm proud and happy for the West Coast because they have a regional sound, a regional look, a regional feel, and that's not when music is homogenized. It doesn't everything sounding the same, feeling the same doesn't isn't good. Just like if you go to everything don't need to be McDonald's, right? So everything don't need to taste the same everywhere you go. So I appreciate learning new slang. I don't know what turn his TV off meant, but now I do. It don't mean what it says. And sorry, lastly, everything in this on this album can be sung by kids because it has multiple meanings. So turn the TV off. They can play that on TV and nobody really knows what it means. So shout out to Kendrick, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Thank you,
KP.
KP. And also if you guys want to, stay up here when we get through the album, by all means, you definitely are. We're just going through
Did Al
initial
done speak yet? I
reactions.
know we got Al, and then we can go to Mark after.
Yeah. So yeah, we could do Al and Mark initial reactions, and we getting into the album.
I love really quick though. I love that KP mentioned his giving respect to his forefathers. And the forefathers was from motherfucking New York. Don't you motherfuckers ever in your life ever forget that shit. You understand that? Don't fucking forget that shit. All right.
Oh my
Who's next?
god. Y'all are angry. Kendrick was right. Y'all are angry.
Can y'all
I'm
hear me?
crashing out. I don't care.
Nah, for real. Yeah, Al, we can hear
We
you.
can
What's
hear
up?
you.
What's up? What's up?
Hold on, give me
Not
one
you
second.
crying
Giving
something
my
bad.
dog her.
Why? What is you? Al?
Oh no, I was giving my dog her vegan tacos right quick,
Vegan
so she can
tacos.
leave me alone. But
Vegan tacos.
We don't have
We
time for this
don't. Tell me
Man.
bougie today.
bougie.
We don't have time for this bouginess. We are ghetto. We are
Uh,
yeah, I
hood.
was.
We are food stamps. Get it right.
I told you, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me because I made cooking Sunday dinner. I had to get a dog something to eat. Y'all know how black people do. We got to get a dog a little something scrap so she could leave us alone while we cook.
that's true.
Anyway, Um, initial reactions, I didn't believe it. I was just got off work and I seen like the artwork and I seen like the trailer, whatever. But I thought it was like, hey, I was like, oh, niggas gas. And I thought it was like some stand shit. So I went to bed and took my ass a nap. But lo and behold, I always seem to want to take a fucking nap when big releases drop. So yeah, I got my life when I got up, but that was it.
That sounds like exactly what you did. Like you was like, this some bullshit. Went to sleep, woke up like, oh no, this was some real shit. I'm
Yeah, because I,
screaming.
I I didn't believe it when you said it, I was like, what? Come
Yeah, you
on.
literally said I got PTSD, girl. Don't I'm like, no, for real. Just dead ass. I'm dead ass with you.
Who else
Mark,
we
what's
got?
up? What's up? What's up?
Hey y'all, what's going on with your kid? What's up, Tatiana? How y'all doing?
We
Milan,
good, we good.
Colin. I'm Mark, by the way, from Chicago. Hardest writer from Chicago coming out right now. Let me tell you though, right now, I thought that well, the first time I started seeing that shit on like people's social media and shit, I thought that was like one of them. One, you know how like fans be make, you know how on that Piff, they like people make them unofficial mixtapes and shit. I thought it was like a leak or some shit when I saw that shit. But then when I got on Spotify, I saw that shit real. I'm like, oh my fucking god! I played that shit right away. First of all, Squabble Up. First of all, I said when I heard Squabble Up, I said about time Kendrick released that shit. I had that shit on repeat. But Whacked Out Murals, that was some shit. I instantly caught the vibe of it. This is the Gemini ass album. This is a Gemini album because a lot of that content on Whacked Out Murals are things I can relate. And it's about, and it kind of just remind it just reminds me about how so many Gemini niggas whole harbor so many deep ass grudges. Won't forget the motherfuckers that counted us out, that talk shit about us, that tried to destroy us in the past and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And and yeah, I do got a sidebar thing I want to say. I think everybody who try to mention this notice about this whole thing about regional music not being existent in hip hop don't know what they talking about. I think that's propaganda. That's a lie. That's a bold faced lie. Regional music has long been dormant has long been present even in rap right now. When you look at the women coming up with regional music, regional sound, I think the real thing is regional sounds have always existed. It's just outlets haven't been covering it like they should, and a lot of the fans that be deep into mainstream music don't pay attention to it as often. That's what the real shit with the whole Kendrick Lamar album and regional music. That's all I gotta say though.
Mark is hilarious.
No, Mark
I
actually
love that.
spitting.
He's
No,
saying
for real,
facts
because
though.
no, for real, because even when the pop out happened, a lot of the artists that performed, like I knew of those artists because I'm a big Larry June fan, and so like on Title, you start listening to one artist, it'll give you other artists. So that's how I started learning more about the Bay Area and Vallejo and like the artists out there
I
that
think
are
we got
doing,
you. Everybody
they
on
big
first
thing out
answer.
there. Huh,
Mhm.
y'all? Wait, y'all, what happened?
Yeah, I don't hear you. My bad if I'm talking over you. My bad.
Oh, damn, I'm sorry, sis. Damn, Elon, you will pay. But yeah, like that's how I found out about a lot of artists out there. And so when the pop out happened, I'm like, oh, I know these artists. So it's like regional shit has been going on, but I had made a prediction last year with Yo. I don't know how many of y'all on here know Yo Phillips, but I had made a prediction to him, and I was
That's the
just,
big homie.
yeah, I made a prediction to him. I was trying to get him on here today, but he in Miami. But I was like, I had made a prediction. I was like, 2024 gonna be the year of regional rap, and I don't know why I felt that, but it was something with Glorilla and what was happening in Memphis. I had a conversation with Duke Deuce, and we had a whole conversation about trap and what is trap and where is it really from and who originally originated it and all the rest of the type of shit. And I was just like, I just have a feeling 2024 gonna be the year of regional rap. I had no clue Kendrick was gonna do what he was gonna do, but I just had a feeling that at least it would be some type of a movement. I didn't know Kendrick would be leading it, but I did feel like there was gonna be some type of movement. So yeah, no,
Right.
Mark, I agree.
Even in Chicago, like Chicago ain't shit but a whole of Chicago, even though we got influence, Southern influence. all of Chicago is pretty much regional. You know, that's why I think
Yeah.
y'all talking about regional rapping. Because the thing, people always say, oh, the only example they could say is, oh, New York sound like Atlanta. No, New York sound. Okay, but that's just one motherfucking city. All of LA has been thriving with their own sound. All of Chicago, all of everywhere else has been thriving with their own sound. It's just like I said, motherfuckers ain't been paying attention to it because they be so caught up with the Drakes and the Kendricks, and the mainstream outlets don't cover it like they need to.
And those guys are listening to people in
And where
Detroit,
does this
rappers in
lie
Detroit too.
again that the
Detroit is
mainstream
regional.
doesn't cover it because of who's not covering it? Oh, okay now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all starting to go there. We gonna stay on Kendrick, but y'all, I'm just saying,
We're gonna
y'all
stay.
Well,
starting
We
to
go.
go.
Okay, okay,
there
okay.
has been, and I want to say there has been some regional cover. Like I remember Billboard did a good piece about Detroit. There'd be
Andre at
some.
Rolling Stone been doing a really good job with documenting regional stuff too. Yeah.
Andre is greatness in perpetuity. You know, we don't even got to begin to talk
Mm-hmm.
about when I that motherfucker just in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
Even before Rolling Stone, that motherfucker man been doing shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mark, I want you to call me a Mark ass nigga.
Mark ass nigga,
Markiana.
trick ass nigga.
I love it. Yo, the Detroit Cali connection, like the Chicago Detroit
Let,
Cali
let's talk
connection,
about it.
Facts.
is
I
so
always think Detroit niggas
crazy.
sound like Cali niggas, and Cali niggas be sound like Detroit
Like the Bay,
niggas.
that shit sound remind me
Mm-hmm.
of
Bay,
like the
yeah.
Bay, like Northern California.
No, you sound like you could dead ass go out to LA and they just gonna accept you as is. You could be like, no,
I
I'm
was
really from
born
out
in
there.
not L.A., but like Selmar. I was born there when I was a kid because my mother was from Chicago but moved to L.A. when the crack epidemic hit Chicago.
Oh, so you on Kendrick
Mm.
type of
I can.
time. You on Kendrick type of time.
The
Yo, if
stuff.
somebody in your family was
I
a
was.
Black Panther, Mark, I'm not playing with you.
I mean, to be honest with you, my granddaddy was one of the original Blackstone Rangers.
Ooh.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay.
I was also gonna say too. I was able to really, really see, especially being born in Cleveland, Ohio. I was really able to see the lineage between the West
Did we
Coast
cut
and the
out?
Midwest when I went to that.
No, Jazz
Can
is
y'all hear me?
talking.
My bad.
Oh,
I
that's
can
why.
hear you.
I was just gonna say I was really able to see the lineage between the Midwest and the West Coast when I went to that versus. It was Cleveland versus Memphis. It was 3 6 Mafia Bone Thugs, and the amount of people in that space that had to remember that Bone Thugs is actually from Cleveland and they're not from LA was really hilarious to me. And it was a lot of people in LA that were there for like Bone Thugs too. So that was really
That's
interesting. So
crazy
no,
because
Mark, I agree.
they've been writing about East 99 from the very beginning. St.
Yep.
Clair, Cleveland ass. That's the beauty of like Bone Thugs, because they kind of like came up under Ruthless Records with Easy E, but they stayed Cleveland the whole time,
Hmm.
which sometimes remind me of Boss, how they told her not to embrace her Detroit and rap like she from LA. And that kind of made me wonder, like, at Boss, how Boss' career would have turned out if she'd have been repping Detroit out the gate like Bone Thugs was with Cleveland.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Mark, I need a piece on that. I need you to write me a piece about the connection between the Midwest and the West.
Duly noted. I'll keep that in mind for sure. Like as soon as I find a motherfucker that gonna pay me, shit,
That be the part.
shit,
No,
I
I
write
get it.
what you want.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
I write whatever a motherfucker want me to write. Shit, they gotta give me that money.
I Mark, I'm not playing with you.
Give me
Kendrick
that
made this
money.
album for you. Kendrick made this album for you. And on that note, we gonna get into this motherfucker. Now. So we're gonna start off with Whacked Out Murals. It features, and excuse me if I pronounce her name wrong, but I believe it is Dara Beria. Beria? Yes, I think that's it. But she is a mariachi singer. She actually ended up on the project because Kendrick went to a LA Dodgers game. Yes, it was. He went to a Dodgers game, and she was paying homage to Fernando Valenzuela. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't pass Spanish. I literally had to like take extra courses in order to like in order to make it through. I'm so sorry. I couldn't get jiggy with it. But I was listening to a lot of Selena, and it helped me pass my final exam so I could graduate on time. But yeah, she was there paying homage to him, and Kendrick was there and heard him, and I mean heard her, and then a few days later, she was literally in the studio with Kendrick. That's how quick he was moving. So she's featured on Whacked Out Murals, Reincarnated, and Gloria. The first part of what she says in Spanish is, "I feel your presence here last night," and we start to cry. And then in the post chorus, she says, "That reflects in your gaze, the night, you and me." Obviously the song, it references, I don't know if anybody saw that video that was going around, but there was a mural of Kendrick that was made, I believe, either shortly before or after the Not Like Us video. I think it was on the wall at Sam's or somewhere. And it was kind of like defaced a bit, like somebody put like a big X or something through it. So a lot of people thought that he was referencing that, but then of course on the song, he kind of addresses everything that's been said, and how people have been feeling about him post Not Like Us and everything that's been going on. He called out Snoop for his behavior, which I have my opinions on. He called out Wayne, which really wasn't a disrespectful thing to me, but I mean, niggas take it how they want to take it.
Let's talk
um
about that.
yeah, let's
That's a
get into it.
metaphor. You know what's crazy about that? That's a metaphor in journalism sometimes. How you see a lot of some of these old niggas be hating on some of the thriving young viral niggas and shit that be doing their thing and writing too.
I mean, yeah, that is true. I mean, we see it in all industries though, right? Like when it's a time for like the guard to change, or when it's time for niggas to understand that like it's a shooter on the block. Like if they tell
Yeah.
you them young niggas outside shooting and stealing the kids, why you outside with your old ass thinking you can keep up with these young niggas out here shooting and taking the kids? Like,
And then, and then you know what else too? It also speak to all Wayne life growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like just growing up under cash money, having everything and all that shit. You know, he was spoiled. You know what I mean? Like Wayne was always spoiled when you look at a lot of how he came up and all that. And like, it's always, even just hearing OG interviewers who have interviewed him before, it was always like a complex around Wayne, like a bit of he got like this entitlement complex. You know what I'm saying? That like how a lot of spoiled ass kids be and shit like that. And I think that's kind of how a lot of them motherfuckers is. And I think that kind of manifests into that too. When you just so entitled and shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and think everything revolves around you, so stuck in your own complex that you don't really see the greater picture of what's going on. And that kind of, and to me, if I was Kendrick, I'd be a little hurt. Like, damn, nigga, I
Of
just,
course, that's somebody he looks up to. Like
yeah,
anybody will be hurt by that shit.
exactly.
But he
which is
didn't
why
do it
I
in a
don't.
disrespectful way though. I think it was
Yeah,
more
and
of
that's.
him just speaking on his emotions, which I mean, black men, we got to talk about the emotions and it's okay. It's never
Mhm.
hate, it's never disrespectful. It's just it is what it is. And I think I forgot what's the other song about, being able to shake hands and have, you know what I'm saying? That type of manly conversation, which I believe he addressed in one of the songs. I forgot it, but I know we're going to get to
Oh,
it.
the
But
heart
yeah.
part six, when he
Yes.
talk about having a heart to hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's grown man shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree. I do think like now looking at it, it's kind of like when you're younger and you hear your favorite artists, it's like okay, we love them, but as you get older, you start to realize their real personality. You know what I'm saying? It's like damn nigga, yeah, I'm not saying you a lame nigga, but goddamn.
I love the way he says like, I used to bump the Carter Three, and I, in the irony of it is that I think my hard work let Wayne down, and then on Man at the Garden, he quite literally samples Nas. So I think, and then
Clever.
also on Man at the
That was
Garden, which
fire. Let
yeah, and
Nas
then
down is one
also,
of my favorites. I'm not gonna hold you.
but also I will.
Am I tripping? Did Kia just jump down?
I was thinking the
No,
same
she
shit.
went out.
Oh, no,
She
so
went
it's
out for
not.
me
It's
too.
okay. Motherfucking Elon, you pasty ass
It
Milan.
just got
bitch.
quiet.
Wait, did Elon just
I can
remove
hear
me?
you again. No, I did that because I was
I
like,
can
if
hear
I
you
Oh,
again,
remove
I was
you and
sis.
about to
add
say
you
you
back, it
fucking
might work
playing
Oh,
again.
with you in this app.
No,
You in
I was
all your
getting really like,
ragged,
girl,
Elon.
I was literally hearing like 3 minutes of silence every time you spoke. And I'm just like, no,
Y'all,
I
I
Yeah,
thought
it
need
just
Elon,
this
got
is
girl,
crazy.
super
I was
silent.
about to cuss Elon the fuck out.
was about to say
And,
mustard.
and Aaron,
Buster.
Aaron know how I be cussing. So I'm like, Elon, you was about to fucking get it.
Yeah, we
But
already
This is why
know.
that blue sky needs spaces, man.
Yeah, I was getting
you
so frustrated. I was like, I don't hear shit. Like,
Yeah,
so I
this
just
app is
removed
cooked.
you and re-added you. So
okay?
you
I
Okay.
got this.
good.
I got this. Copy.
Not cooked.
Ooh, cause
I
Lord
can't
have
wait till
mercy.
blue sky gets me.
Y'all don't know my face. I was like, that bitch nigga Elon. I got something for your ass.
Elon!
I
You
got something
fucking
for
look
your
like
ass.
a deep breath, pasty ass, ugly
Whoa,
face ass
whoa,
nigga.
whoa, whoa.
Okay, I'm done.
Anger,
Sorry. Yeah.
mustard. But no, like I was saying, yeah, I think it was just the irony of that, of him saying like, "Yo, I let Wayne down," and then sampling Nas on "Man at the Garden," and then just the whole like irony of it, of me thinking that "Man at the Garden" is directed at J. Cole, which we'll get to that in a second. But like, I'm just saying, I think "Man at the
Now, if you
Garden."
want to
Me
talk
and
about
Aaron spoke
somebody
about
letting
this. Me and Aaron spoke
Hold
about
on,
this.
hold
Uh-uh.
on, y'all. Hold on. Let Queen Kia in the garden get her shit off.
Yeah, cause this is Key at the Garden, nigga. We Key at
Gon'
Madison
we
Garden.
gon' we gon' get into all of the tracks. We
We
are gonna talk about them. Go ahead.
we gonna give y'all. I'm telling you, we already set aside time. We knew this was gonna be a big one. But no, I thought it was very interesting, the whole flip of Wayne and Nas. Um, I think also like him talking about Snoop. Snoop's behavior was pretty interesting to me, because when he did post the Taylor Made freestyle song, whatever, I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, and I even remember the Joe Budden podcast having a conversation about that, about something to do with like Gamma and all the rest of that shit going on with Larry Jackson. But I just thought it was Snoop being kind of, the best way I can say it is like he trying to be a neutral party in a sense, because we know he has a friendship with Drake, but obviously a lot of people from the West Coast felt kind of like mandated to, like, I have to work with or stay on one side of things. So I think that was his way of trying to stay neutral. So even calling Snoop out and being like, I pray it was the edibles, because I'm really confused on where you were lying in this perspective. Um, but even I like the whole idea. For some reason, whacked out murals remind me of Candyman, because like the whole story behind Candyman, this idea of like Cabrini Green projects, and like there was this mural on the wall because there was this legend of a man named Candyman, and if you called his name, he would pop up. I don't know, for some reason, whacked out murals just made me think of Candyman. So yeah, that's just like my little tidbit.
That's interesting. I never thought about it that
Yeah.
way before.
Yeah, that's a good perspective, Key. I ain't gonna hold you.
Sidebar.
And they have been calling him the Candy Man, so
I thought they've been
That's what
calling
I'm
him the
saying.
boogeyman.
Boogeyman,
Candyman,
Candyman.
same
I feel like he's
shit.
a
Oh well.
monster.
Omar, all that shit.
Not Omar.
Shit.
I mean, he did play that crackhead in Power a little bit too good, man.
Hmm.
Hey, puppy. I stuck the shit up because I didn't really like it. But puppy. Like,
My nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga.
no, Kendrick was bugged the fuck out.
That's the motherfucker living rap form. That's that crackhead in Power. That is Kendrick Lamar as a rapper in physical
At
form.
his rawest core. At his rawest core.
Yep.
Crackhead
Shit.
empowered is
But we
crazy.
underestimate the power of the crackhead in the community. Because
Talk about it.
the crackhead low key be giving you advice or be giving you protection. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm good at my hood. So when I pull up at the gas station to go get my shit, the crackheads be standing there like, yo, you good? Don't worry about your car. I got your car. I'm like, all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Like crackheads low key, they be they
Yeah.
are the dark knights of the community.
They'll
I get
even
a
give
lot
you a
of love
dollar
from everybody. I
sometimes.
ain't gonna hold you.
because they strong as
I was
hell.
just about to say, you know, you in good with a crackhead if they see you and they don't ask you for no money.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Now
And
that's a
none of the
fact. They
Ooh.
crackheads
got
asked
respect
me
for
for
you.
shit. They
They
never
got
asked
respect
me
for
for
you.
shit.
Boy.
But I still, try to help the community out and
Yeah,
stuff like
especially if
that.
I
I still
know
give him a
you.
dollar. I still give him a dollar if they ask. If
Yeah,
I have it.
if I know
You
you,
know.
yeah, I'll give you a dollar. Like, you the homie.
Mm.
What else do you guys think about whacked out murals outside of just the fact that he's just kind of addressing everyone? Don't put no smut. Don't let nobody put no smut on your name. He does have a couple rules of engagements, to God niggas. What I don't know. Like, talk to me. Talk to me. What y'all thinking?
I love how he reminds everybody that he pay homage and he reminded his business
We letting the
because
audience talk now. Who's a
that was a
speaker? Oh,
fave too.
Nameless came up. Who's a new
Wait,
speaker?
did you hear
Nameless,
Jazz
would you like
Milan?
to? Oh shit,
I don't
Jazzy
think
was
she heard
talking.
her. Yeah, I heard
My
her.
bad, my
This is
bad.
crazy, y'all. This
No,
audio
you're
is
good. It's
wild.
my voice. I mean, my audio is a little crazy too.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
I can. Hey, sis.
Okay, hi, hey y'all. I just wanted to. What triggered me to come up here was when Key said something about Candyman. Um, I don't know if it was brought up before, but Kendrick actually refers to himself time and time again as the Candyman of rap. So that parallel is something that I was like, damn, I gotta say that because I don't know if she knew that or not.
I remember and you can remind me because I think there is a song where he quite literally calls himself the Candyman. I can't remember what
Yeah.
song it is, but there is a song
Um,
where he says, "I'm the Candyman."
yeah, he says, say my name and I
Yeah, that
promise
was
I'll
on
get you
Element.
candy
That was
man.
on
And
Yep.
Element.
also, yeah, on Element, yeah. And
Hmm.
he said it in other like tape types interviews and like not interviews but like other songs I think too, but I just can't recall like the ones right now.
No facts. I'm glad you brought that up because I was like, no, he has called himself the Candyman before, like before the Boogeyman
Oh, so
shit.
I was right. Just say his name and I promise I'll show you Candy Man. That's what he said.
I would like to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about really
yeah,
quickly, verse 3. Because I
Okay.
seen a tweet about that, about niggas from my city couldn't entertain old boy, promising bank transactions and even Bitcoin. Da 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 da.
Oh
Da.
yeah, that shit. Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
Not the nigga was offering people
yeah.
Bitcoin.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how
I
you know
would.
he was kicking it with Aiden Ross too much. Like shit, he was kicking it with Aiden Ross. You were offering hood niggas Bitcoin, nigga. What?
I think the
that's
somebody
insane.
tweeted, which was so hilarious. Somebody tweeted that that couldn't happen to Meek because niggas in Philly would have sold him out for 1,500 and a pack of cashews, and I thought that was
Ooh, a pack
hilarious.
of cashews.
But this also shows me
Cashews is
how
crazy.
I think like was being so solid with your community and like where you from is important, and that's how for me I know you really get love like that because there was nobody from that side that was really willing to flip on Kendrick. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't think there was anybody that came out and was like, nah, fuck this nigga. What you got? I'ma take like it was none of that. So
You heard
he's
what
really
Snoopy badass said.
he really like he really there's no cap in that nigga's rap at this point in time. Like it's really no cap in his rap. But I thought that part stuck out, especially when we were talking about like the whole Snoop Dogg shit and quote unquote staying neutral and shit like that. It's like, are you really staying neutral, my nigga? Because staying neutral is saying nothing at all, to be completely honest with you. Like that for me is being neutral. I don't have nothing to say about none of this that's going on. Y'all niggas figure it out. But I'm gonna always be home team. And him following up, because I put it in the Summer Jam screen up here, him coming out and making that tweet about basically saying that the album was fire. For me, I feel like Kendrick tugged at his braids and he was right on point when he said that shit, because then Snoop was like, oh, my bad nephew, you know what I'm saying, nephew, my bad. So yeah, I that verse to me stuck out, especially with all of that happening, and like niggas was saying like he was going mad hard to try and get kind of the information on Kendrick. But to me, that also shows that Kendrick was really not these niggas. I'm sorry. Any nigga could have folded. Any nigga could have found out anything. Niggas did not find nothing out about this nigga.
I mean, he said he doesn't like coming out the house because he doesn't like niggas. So he stays in the house all the time because he hates how these niggas are in the industry and shit. So
Facts. And speaking of him not liking niggas, I also
All right.
love that he
Anybody
makes it
else on
apparent.
this one song before we move
Wait,
on
you
to the
didn't
next?
hear
Oh, I'm
Jazz?
sorry. Oh, Jazz. Oh
You
my
good?
God, Jazz.
Yo,
I am
this is
so
wild.
sorry. Okay, my bad. My bad. You know what? I'm not saying shit no more. Kia, you got it out the
No,
way.
no, no.
No, I'm like, is it my mic? I'm sorry. Can
No, because
anybody
it's
else hear me?
like
it's
we
this
can
damn
hear you. It's
spaces.
like
It's this
everybody
damn
is going
app,
in and
dog.
out. Yeah.
It's this damn app.
Wait, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
We can
you.
hear you, but I don't think Milan can hear you. So
I
it's
can't hear
like
you, but it's okay. Just
sometimes,
go ahead.
yeah.
Get your shit
I'm a,
off,
I'm a
sis. My
lot. Yeah, I'm
bad.
gonna guide it in. But go ahead, Jazz. You good?
No, I was just gonna say because you just mentioned like how he's always saying and like fuck these niggas, but ever since I want to say like even the family ties, like he's made it apparent in my opinion to also shout out, but I fuck with the women. Like rather if it was like him saying like I can multitask like Megan, or then coming on Euphoria and even doing her like ad libs that she do. And then, even on this record, taking it as far as, saying don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. I just love that he's always willing to speak up or address any adversities that we have been facing. And I ain't saying he perfect, you know what I'm saying? We know niggas can be niggas, but I love that he makes it apparent to try to uplift or protect women in some type of way.
That's the most fascinating. I think that's one of the most fascinating parts about Kendrick throughout his whole career, his relationship with women. I kind of wrote about that, I think, for SNSGU a while back, with like how women got brought in the whole beef between him and Drake. Like, even just observe, like he kind of been on and off like Kendrick over the years when it comes to women, he does support, but he kind of had like little shit. But I think that's something to be noted overall, like his consistent, unwavering support, regardless how imperfect that is at time. Like that's something to be commended for Kendrick, like how he kind of like is unyielding. Because a lot of niggas, you know what I mean, like in rap, like they kind of like half ass with it sometimes, or they be fucking with the white women real hard. But like he got like an unyielding support for black women, and I think that's something to be commended from.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that Kendrick, we know like people have called out his relationship with Dr. Dre and how problematic that could be. We know about his comments with R. Kelly and the whole Spotify thing. So he's not
And Triple
perfect.
X.
Yep, and the triple X shit. So we know he's not perfect, but I will say, like, if I had to choose the lesser of two evils, who's down for the black women, I'm gonna go with Kendrick. Um, but yeah,
I think
so moving on from
can I say
that.
one more thing?
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you
I'm
good,
like, girl, I'm at Chili's eating
girl. What
and
you
I'm
getting?
trying to be quiet. Girl, triple dipper.
Nah, this my
So
homegirl. Stop. Come on, what you
Shout
good? Go
out
ahead.
to bad bitches still going to Chili's. Like, get the fuck out of here.
period.
We still going to
Chili's
Cheesecake. We still going to Grand
period.
Lux,
They could never make me hate
Applebee's, Red
Chili's.
Lobster. You can never make me hate y'all.
The
Oh
Okay.
God.
biscuits, nigga. Shit.
But yeah, so the thing about Kendrick, because who was it, Jazz? I think you brought up my point. I was literally about to say like what he said about like the comedians talking about black women and stuff. But the bigger thing is that like no one's perfect, but I think the more important thing is that he holds himself accountable throughout his music in general. He
Yes.
talks about like the duality of man and how he battles these thoughts and stuff like that. So I think the transparency makes it like easier to have grace for when we do hear about any transgressions or anything like that.
And just to,
100%.
sorry, Jazz, are you talking?
No, she
No,
was
I was
said
just
valid
agreeing.
point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But no, I agree with you. And I think that is one of the biggest points of why niggas really can't stand him is because he's showing what accountability, especially as a black man, fucking looks like. And niggas will try to tear you a new asshole if you don't if it, because he's addressing shit like the Mr. Morale and all that album and all that other shit is like niggas do this shit. You feel me? Like even Jay-Z had an accountable moment in his lifetime. DMX has plenty of fucking all of his records is about accountability, if we want to be honest, and just going through shit and just realizing shit. So like that to me is super duper fucking important. And I see why niggas hate that shit because a lot of you niggas is not like that. A lot of you niggas can't take accountability. And I say niggas as it being gender neutral, men and women. A lot of you niggas can't
Facts.
handle accountability in this world, and that shit drives y'all crazy to hear somebody who's also on such a high platform be able to put that in the music
Yeah,
and have accountability.
That's
facts.
why
And
niggas hate him. That's why niggas.
right.
That's why you can literally point out the niggas that do not like this album, and you could just look at them like, yeah, that's who you are, because you don't like
Yeah.
Kendrick.
And it's
Exactly.
like it's amazing that most of the time to reach this level of like iconism, you have to kind of like make those sacrifices of like your morals and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's solid, like, and he made it there. So that's really like commendable.
And it's a difference between, and I want to say this too to piggyback, I think, on what the last speaker said. There's a difference between if Kendrick is not your favorite and you like certain other MCs better, that versus you outright hating a motherfucker for what he rap about and shit like that. It's one thing if he ain't your favorite.
I agree with
He
that.
is
I
Yeah,
he is
agree.
that's a
not,
fact.
Dead
I had this
ass.
still gotta
conversation with my
respect the
dad.
motherfucker.
I was literally yelling at
Cause
him like,
motherfuckers that
bro.
hate him, like that kind of, cause Drake, with Drake, the people that and I'm a Drake fan myself, but the people that stand in him are people that don't like living in reality. That want
I mean, I think another layer to it too, from just seeing some of the responses that I've been gotten to like my Kendrick Lamar tweets. A lot of them niggas aren't even listening to the music. So they're not even
No.
responding to anything
Surface
lyrically.
level shit.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not. It's
literally just
like
like they just hate the artist and don't have anything else to really stand on. Like
they
you
don't want to
couldn't tell me
think.
right. You couldn't tell me the first lyric, but you got so much to say about the project. It's like how you know the
Yeah,
project is ass and
it's
you ain't hear it.
contrarian vibes.
Yeah.
These
Yes,
niggas
Um, but
don't read. These niggas don't listen.
y'all.
These niggas are just
But they
dumb.
told us they don't read. They told us that when we was
Idiots.
dragging them about the journalism shit that they don't read. So what? Like we ain't
Yeah,
ignoring
uh,
Russ
them.
said
We know
niggas
they
don't. Yeah,
read.
Russ
Like,
said it. People don't read no more.
what are we talking about, bro? We know these
Then them
niggas don't read. The
dumbasses want to talk
education.
about how Kendrick be ghostwriting. I mean, Kendrick be ghostwriting for Doechii, and I be like, what are y'all
Whoa,
doing?
wait, wait, wait,
Oh
wait,
my
wait,
god.
wait,
Okay,
wait.
wait.
Anyway,
What?
Let's
What?
That
let's
that
did.
be
okay.
another
All
Ray,
right,
story.
so
Ray,
we're gonna
Ray,
move
Ray,
on.
That
We're
Ray,
gonna
be
move
Ray,
don't
on.
Ray.
say that.
We're
Let's
gonna
Let's
move.
go.
We're
let's
gonna
keep
move
Let's
on. We're
talk
gonna
that.
move on.
about
Let's
what
Don't
not
say
do
happened.
that while
that.
Milan is in
Let's
here.
not do that. We're not even bringing that. That's not even a
Oh, oh,
conversation to bring up. Let's cut that
oh,
shit
can I
right
give
now.
flowers real quick?
We're
Can
gonna
I give
cut that
flowers
shit
real
right now
quick?
before I really
Sure.
get
Wait. Aaron
angry.
wants to give some flowers.
Mustard.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Milan.
So yeah,
I want to give
mustard.
flowers
yo.
to.
Anyway,
Wait,
I
Aaron
want to
wants to
give
give some
flowers to
flowers.
Million, right? Milan. I want to
Milan,
give
Milan.
nigga,
flowers to
damn.
you.
Nah, I'm
Sorry,
joking.
my apologies. I know. I want to give you your
Million is
flowers because
crazy.
you're with
Yo.
Dolce. You've been touring. You at Camp Frog now. You and Dolce doing your thing. Grammy nominated. I just want to give you your flowers for that. You worked your ass off. You
Thank
deserve
you,
it, and
thank
I'm rooting for
you,
y'all.
thank you.
You
I'm gonna
know,
just add that I've been in these streets for quite some time now, so thank you. I appreciate that. You know, real bitches is up 100%. What's good now? What's up?
Nigga, nigga, go. Can you go?
Milan.
Yo.
I ain't gonna lie. Dope is by far like one of the
Oh my
best
god.
rappers. Not even just women, just rappers. Period. Man or
Yeah.
non-binary, whoever you want to, alien, whoever the fuck you want to call it.
Niggas said
Man, what?
Like put in no gender. I don't like
y'all,
if it
y'all on
one of
some
the best rappers.
bullshit tonight, and I love it because that's what we need to be on bullshit. Because
No,
we can
I've
get
been randomly just shouting mustard
no
during
see
random
see.
moments.
Okay, so let's get to the next one because I want to start yelling
Wait, no.
again.
I have one more thing. So
Okay,
I did want to
Well,
say just from not lyrically, but as far as just like sonically, I really appreciated the intro. Because I feel like it was a great introduction to the whole energy of the project. Like I think it started off with he kind of just builds, and even the production builds because it starts with like this kind of I don't know, like choral audio, and then it goes into just you're just getting a top line. And then I want to say for like the first two verses, and then you finally get the beat to drop after. And it literally just builds and builds and builds until it gets to the end of the song, and then we get into the rest of the project. And I think for me, one thing I really appreciate about Kendrick, because even outside of the production, his vocals also build. And when he starts off the song, it's in a real lower tone. He's a lot calmer. It's almost on like some you waking up the giant shit. And then by the end of the song, he's almost shouting. And I think I love that he adds like it's almost cinematic. Like it's a lot of crescendo and everything he's doing. Like, and I think music in general could use that regardless of the genre. Like it could be R&B, hip hop, whatever. I think we need more of that in music because it keeps the music exciting. It's like it's you're building and you're dropping and building it back up, and I feel like that's what keeps listeners engaged because you're looking for what's next. And I really love that he does that on that first track because out the gate he's like, "This about to be some shit, and I'm gonna help you get there." And that's what that felt like for me.
That's I think you know
Facts.
what I think that's so true about a lot of modern what even like going back to the Chronic. I think that's so true about a lot of West Coast rap. Like West Coast rap is big. West Coast rap is cinematic, got a theme to it and everything like that, and just takes you upon these highs and lows and then these crescendos. When you think about even like not just the albums that came out this year, but go back into YG, My Crazy Life, Good Kid, Mad City. Doggy Style, The Chronic, hell, Schoolboy Q shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the beauty of a lot of like West Coast rap in general. Probably, I think that's probably because like they so close to Hollywood and shit.
Mark, that's a piece that you need to
Well,
write. Like you keep talking about pieces that you need to write.
Shit, I'll write it for motherfuckers pay me. I'm with it. Shit. I'm looking at a couple people right now that could go ahead and toss me a little couple money for these ideas right now. Shit, I'm with
nigga.
it. Shit.
Y'all are on bullshit tonight, and Kendrick will be so proud of y'all. Like for real, for real. I think a round of applause for you for yourselves because the bullshit is bullshit tonight. I love it. So with that, we gonna get into
Can I just add
I
something?
am
Cause I just
what?
want to add, cause
reincarnated.
Ah,
y'all
we about
not
to
reckon,
get into reincarnated.
y'all
What?
not recognizing
That's the
hands.
that's the real
We not
boogeyman
Y'all not
song.
recognizing
reckon,
what?
y'all not recognizing hands. So I guess I just get my little piece because y'all forgot about me, like Bush forgot about the rest of these dumbass
Lord have
kids.
mercy. Get out.
And I keep telling y'all, please do not argue with these dumb people because literally it's the education, it's the literacy crisis in America. So it's not that they don't read, they don't know how to read. So stop arguing with niggas that never learned how to read, y'all, okay?
Dead ass, man.
Yeah, they
I be
reading your
trying, but
tweets,
I love Don't You Man.
they reading your tweets and they don't even have no comprehension. So let's start there first with
Now
what
that's
y'all saying.
stop with
Let's
that
start
Tweets.
there. That
Twitter
part.
But
all side.
but my point about the intro track, I like how somebody said it earlier. I like how he keeps us engaged because it's like he's talking to us. Like the intro track was him, like of course, like we want to go into spiritual. He's like recognizing and being aware of everything that's going on, like literally in this moment from the fallout of his releases. But then he's guiding us as to like what's triggering him to like keep his foot on these niggas' necks while he goes through the album and like literally tears niggas up. But that first intro track, I love how he just kind of lays it out for us. That's something I like that he's done with his framing ever since he started dropping the discs, is just framing everything as if he's telling us what he's going to do and why y'all are triggering him for y'all to still do the same shit for him to come back literally at the end of the year to tell y'all niggas y'all still doing the same shit that he said early in the year, which is proving his point as to why y'all not like us. I just think that was a full circle moment for him to start the album off that way and then lead into the bullshit. But that's all I want to say, Kia. Go ahead to the next track.
Sorry, my fault. I'm gonna get my last part in it because I feel like I always have to call out the cultural POV. What Yan was talking about with the singer, her name is Dera Barrera. That's her name. That was like his little homage to Latin culture in LA. She's a traditional mariachi singer, and so I feel like he did a really good job of like integrating like LA is not LA without Mexican culture, um, but still keeping it rap. And then to your point about the crescendos, I was trying to find a way to word this yesterday as I was ranting and tweeting, but the parts where he kind of like growls through the track, like the Anita Baker in the tape deck, as you guys have the line right here, like it's like he kind of like grunts or like it's kind of like like through it, and that those parts are like my favorite parts, even if they're not like the main punchlines that everybody's calling out. Those are like my favorite parts, and I don't know how to spell how that sound, but yeah, to your point, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that does make sense. About the Spanish culture and LA and stuff like that, just because they were going crazy when that pop out happened. And niggas was feeling like they were not included, which we already discussed reasons why. But it just goes to show once a fucking again how intentional Kendrick Lamar truly is with everything that he does. And he literally listens to people. Like he has to have his ear to the streets to really come through with that and acknowledge that in the very first track and have her throughout it. Like, yeah, you did justice. And it was like, listen, this is about black culture right now. Maybe if you Afro Latina, but it's about black culture right now. You understand? So let me give y'all niggas something by having Miss Mariachi come through and do her 1-2 Selena. I like that.
Okay. Now we all got our thoughts out about the opening. um Squabble up.
That's the song.
I
Yeah, that's
am
the song. Yeah.
reincarnated. What's going crazy? Yeah, man.
So what do we think about broccoli, aka well, squabble up, aka broccoli? Because I I was hoping it would be one of those things where it wasn't like we heard the snippet and the snippet was great, and then we heard the song and it's like, oh damn. But to me, the song is actually like, granted, I now hearing the full project, I of course have songs that I like more on the project, but it's still like a fire ass song to me. So what do we now think that we've heard broccoli in full?
Let me put it to you this way. My homeboy's a DJ. I was at a bar last night with him. He's DJing. He ran that shit back 3 times throughout the entire night, and that shit went off every fucking time. Yeah, Kendrick got one, and it's about to go number one. It's about to go number one. That'll be three number ones for his ass.
I'm
Like,
I think
I'm
I think
grateful that this song even came out because you know how Drake especially has been bad at this. You know how motherfuckers drop a fire snippet, but the song never come out.
yeah.
I'm glad that Kendrick actually put this song out. I'm truly grateful.
Well, what about that other
yeah,
snippet?
Kendrick,
Tell me who
Kendrick
the
is
bitch nigga
Kendrick,
hating on
yeah.
me. Like, come on now.
Delete.
Yeah, that
I
was.
think this song is. I think this song. I think what happened was when he dropped the snippet on the video, people had a idea what the song was going to be, and then when they heard it, it shifted. But I think the song is great. I think it's a great. I need to hear the song in a roller skating rink. Me personally, I want to see that energy and how that moves the people. But I think it's a fun song. It's one of the most vocal inflection songs on the album for me. From what he's doing, get the fuck out my face. Like that shit is fun, and it's very sing along. The kids can sing it. You do it in a concert. People you drop the vocals and let this crowd sing. Get the fuck out my face. Like I think it's one of the best songs on the album, and it's a feel good song for me.
I agree.
I agree, and I feel like that kind of goes to a lot of what, and to me, it's like a direct response to a lot of the shit that people be saying as far as his music not being digestible. Like that
That
nigga
was
came
a
out
lie.
with
That was a bold
right, like
face.
it's just
That was
like
recently
nigga,
lying.
I can make whatever the fuck I want, and y'all gonna get all the reactions that I want y'all to get, and y'all gonna get this woke quote unquote shit or quote unquote woke shit. Y'all gonna get the dance shit. Y'all gonna get the LA shit. Like he gave us a lot of everything,
It's called
and
having range.
yeah,
Hello?
it's literally it's just like I have the range y'all kind of act like I don't have, and here it goes, it's all in y'all face, and y'all can't deny
And then
it.
I love how I got two parts I want to say. I love how he made that the second song. You know what I mean? He just gave us that right off the wham. You know what I mean? They make us wait for it. He just gave up right. It was at the top of the list right there. And then I always thought when people said Kendrick don't make that was complete. The only reason why motherfuckers say that is because he took a hiatus. The motherfucker took a break. And then motherfuckers forgot. Cause Nick, we are in a, I don't know what it is about people in this. I don't know if it's because of COVID, but motherfuckers really have short-term memory when it comes to history. Whether that may be the last Trump administration
Facts.
or Kendrick's hits. Like niggas got short-term memory loss when it comes to shit.
CTE.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the effects of long term. Like we gotta really study the effects of long term COVID and rap conversations because motherfuckers really do got like because you know how they say long COVID got people fuck with people memory. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what happened to a certain
Mm-hmm.
generation of people, especially motherfuckers that listen to motherfuckers like DJ Academics bitch ass all day.
I think what it is, to be honest with you, and this was kind of like this is something that I've always been preaching. I think unfortunately on Twitter, right? A lot of people who claim to enjoy music really actually don't. And I also think that a lot of people who enjoy music, they try to include themselves in conversations that you really don't belong in. You should probably just stay in that particular section and just like kind of enjoy that. And I think because of that, the way we digest music, it's it's becoming a little bit harder for us. Because you do have people that will sit down and they can contextualize things and they engage with the art. A lot of people don't really do that anymore. So I think that plays a big role in it. Just to go to your point. But as far
Yeah,
as like
we need sections of music conversations. I think Kenny, the singer Kenny, has said that you can't have a conversation about music with everybody, and that is the honest to God truth.
yeah, like to be honest with you, this wasn't a project that I wanted to digest with people who just started talking about music 2 years ago. This is not a project that I wanted to discuss with people who just realized they had an opinion on music within the last 4 or 5 years. I'm sorry, like this is just not the type of album or project that I really wanted to discuss with you. So I think that was my thing too. Like I was only discussing with people that like I fuck with, like and Nisa and everybody. Like those are the people I was talking to because those are the people that I trust with talking to about music. Like I wasn't really, communicating with them just because I just felt like this was a certain type of project where you really got to understand shit. Like I don't understand where people were getting this idea from that like Kendrick don't make bops or he don't make up like upbeat music. Because even like the first song that come to mind for me is King Kunta. Like King Kunta is so
I
funky.
just was
It
singing
is
that in my
a
motherfucking head
yeah,
just
like
now.
it is a dancey West Coast LA song, but he still got his message in there. Or even if you go to album cuts like Real off of Good Kid, Mad City, he has a part where his mom talks about, we from Chicago, so I need a little house part on there, and it says, "Sing my song, it's all," and it's like this little
Oh,
cute little
I
two
didn't
step moment.
realize that was a house
Yeah,
reference.
that's like a whole little house reference. Sing my song, it's all for you. Like, this is what
Oh,
I'm saying. Like, niggas don't
Niggas be
really,
lying because
and
even
this is,
even his old shit festivals, I got loyalty and royalty inside my D, like shit like that still goes
Bruh.
off, still fucking goes
but,
off.
hey,
but
Like
you know
I
what?
was
And you know
relating
what?
to the,
And
People don't
Euphoria reminded me of DNA for sure.
but I was trying to relate it to the point of like when people mention like his like versatility, because maybe they only think it's like a West Coast thing, but I don't think people really understand like how much he does incorporate other forms, like other genres of music outside of just jazz and then dealing with hip hop. Like even on this, like the sample is a Debbie Deb song, but I don't think a lot of people understand what freestyle music is. Like freestyle music came out in the 80s. It was very popular in LA, especially in the skater scene, and it was popular in New York, but it really gained popularity in LA because a lot of the gangsters used to listen to it. That's why you hear a lot of that G funk. It's not only funk, it's also freestyle music. Songs like "I Wonder If I Take You Home, Would You Still Be," like all of
would you
that, that's
still
from
be
the free
in love, baby?
yes, that's
Yeah.
from the freestyle era of music that you go on a dance floor and you just dance, which is also a section of house music. So the fact that
Come
he
on,
even
historian.
incorporated that, it's like, yeah, not only is this some gang shit, but it's also an element of just black freestyle music from the 80s. It's a definitive part of the culture. So even with the samples, he's putting you in a certain time frame. Even, I mean, we're not there yet, but even with Luther, that sample, it's from the 80s. It's a specific type of moment that he's trying to curate for you, even through the samples. So I just wanted to point that out as well. Sorry, I got
Yes.
passionate about that part.
Nah, it's yeah, you
And that was key
damn
at the
spot
door.
right.
on with that,
Damn,
sis.
yeah.
Spot on. I told you she's the historian. She know all this shit.
Yeah, she
Deep
does.
down.
Mhm.
All
And I
So
right.
think
anything?
my favorite line from this song is, well, two of them. When he referenced Tupac, he said, "I spit a loogie and I spin off," and then the other one when he said, it was wolf tickets on sale till I silenced it." So shout out to Kendrick for what y'all call standing on business. He like, yo, they was talking a lot of shit till I shut them up. So shout out to him, man.
My favorite line of the song, since we're on lines now, and this is right to my point, is when he said, "Keep the horn on me, that Kamasi." And that part
Ooh, that's love.
was crazy because I think people forget, like, that Kendrick's taste level right now, where he's at creatively, artistically, and those types of things, it kind of like puts him in a space where he might not tap into like the squabble up vibes often, but that's like in his blood. But he still found a creative way to weave like Kamasi Washington into the conversation, to kind of like put in like his highbrow like kind of taste level and the type of stuff that he'd be on his own time. I think even with him separating from like TDE and like PG Lang and just showing like where he's gonna go as a visionary and just a director and all kind of things, like I love when he drops those little lines in the midst of the chaos, because it's like, especially as someone from LA, like we love gangster shit, but at the same time, like it's very hard to constantly consume that when you know that there's more, when you know that there's like just more like tasteful, like creative things that you could be doing. And I think he kind of just executed that like really really well, throughout the album, but especially on Squabble Up, because that's a real like just LA like I'm gonna fuck you up type of track. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Gemini.
I think he's reached the point of no more rapper when it comes to Kendrick. You have to call him a artist.
Facts.
That's what an artist is. So yeah.
Fact. Yesterday, I even was having a conversation with my dad. And my dad used to work for like a record label and stuff like that when I was younger. But I find it kind of baffling that as a hip hop head, he really don't. He's not a Kendrick fan, and I what we were talking about earlier, I think some people just don't like his voice. I could see how his voice could be annoying to some people. And I think voices and bravado are a very important part of rap. I think that's why, like, I love Larry June, but I think that's why he kind of gets away with making the same type of music all the time, because he has a really, really soothing voice, among other rappers and artists. But to keep it on the subject, I think also I would put him in the range of like an iconism, like kind of like Solange in a sense, but for the rap sphere, because he kind of took kind of like everybody was like, oh, Beyonce, 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 but then it was like, what about the girls? Like, what about the girls that have a different taste level, that have like different sense of fashion, that have a different sense of style, that have a different like outlook on what's happening in like the niche parts of the culture? I think that's what Kendrick is kind of doing for rap.
Anita,
Yo,
I love.
that nah, not
Mm.
gonna lie, you ate with that one because I have been seeing people saying that like he studied the book of Beyonce and shit. And honestly, it didn't really resonate with me because if anybody know who really know, Beyonce get majority of her shit, inspiration, everything from her sister Solange anyway. So let's just start there. And I love B. I'm a big, 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 big B fan.
For
But
years,
we
she's
already
been
knew
getting
that.
it from Solo.
Yes, for
But see,
years.
I
So
think a lot
yeah.
of that comes from like social media. People have they just
Yeah.
don't they lack nuance, and they're literally just conflating this surprise drop with Beyonce's surprise drop with him coming from the school of Beyonce. Like that's the only thing that they did similar. To everything else is it's not copy paste. It's not really inspired in my opinion. Yes, they're peers, but like to y'all point, I just feel like there's so many other layers to what he did to where it's just like it's not Beyonce, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're invoking emotion, we're invoking art, we're talking
Yeah.
about, things that are actually happening, like using our voice as an instrument. Like that's definitely things that Solange definitely embodies as an artist. And I would kind of low key, high key, I would like to hear them on a track together. I don't think we've ever received a Solange and a Kendrick
They
Lamar
have
Ooh.
that
track.
look. There's a song called "Look Good." Is it "Look
Mm.
Good with
I need
Trouble"?
my credit. I need my point on that
I
if it
used.
happens, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah,
They have
and
one on SoundCloud. It's called "Look Good." I think it's called "Look Good with Trouble." Am I tripping?
All right, what's the next track? Because I think we we got another some more
Nah, I
tracks to
think
go.
you're still not hearing jazz, but yeah, I never heard the song. That you talk. I don't be on Spotify. I don't
Yeah,
use
it's called.
Spotify.
It was on her project too. It's called "Look Good with Trouble," but it's Solange and Kendrick. That's one of my favorite.
Oh,
Oh wait, on that. Oh, I think I know what
on
you're
the
talking
one
about. Yeah,
compilation
I think I know what you're
album.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need something a little better than that. Yeah, I need a
He,
little something. I
I
ain't gonna
will.
hold you
I
like
More
that.
was
up to
gonna
date,
say.
yeah.
I was gonna say earlier, Anissa. I love.
Could you imagine the video aesthetic? Nah, they
Wait,
would go
Jazz is
crazy.
wait,
Sorry.
Milan
Damn,
Jazz is sister.
No,
Jazz.
I
my,
know, I know.
no, it's Elon. It's Elon. I was just gonna say I love that Anissa mentioned her you mentioned your dad earlier, and I love that because it made me think about another thing I did when Kendrick dropped, and he always drops. I always send the group the link to like my uncle, my dad, my stepfather, and we all be talking about it. And I think that's amazing that Kendrick is able to invoke that emotion, that we're reminded of, like, black men in our family. But yeah, that was all.
yeah.
Yeah, I literally was gonna say
Anetta,
too. Like I
by the
appreciate
way.
the jazz thing because I had sent the album to somebody who was older who came up during the Tupac era and was like, "Yo, there's songs on here where he's invoking that and he is inspired by that, and you can hear it." And to your point, the first thing he said was like, "I don't hear it because I can't get through his voice." Like, all right, if you get past the voice, you would hear how good this shit sounds. And he was just so stuck on the voice, like, "Nah, this is not good." Like, all right, well, to each
And
his
that's
own, I
okay.
guess.
Like I don't want Pac's voice. I want Kendrick's voice. Like Pac worked for his generation, his time, and the shit still resonates. I also wasn't a big Pac fan growing up. Like I had to get on Pac on my own because I'm an East Coast girl. My parents from the East Coast, so I grew up listening to East Coast shit. So like I had to get Pac kind of on my own thing, and then when I did, I was like, okay, I get it. But Kendrick is just rougher and more. I don't want to say more authentic, but it does just feel like I'm from the mud. This is the mud, and this is what like you know what I'm saying. And not to say that those artists we're naming like Pac and Beyonce aren't, but something about Kendrick just feels a little bit more gritty. Like I can walk up to if Kendrick was a person, I could walk not if Kendrick was a person because Kendrick is a person, excuse me. But like you know what I'm saying. Like I could walk up to Kendrick. I could like I feel like this is something where like I know a Kendrick if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah. I would make one more point
Uh-huh.
because I got to get going. But Elliot Wilson posted this clip of somebody putting Pac's vocals, like AI Pac vocals, over reincarnation,
Yes, I saw
and
that.
it scared the shit out of me because it literally was Pac's. It was Pac, or AI Pac over Kendrick's vocals, but it legit sounded like Pac's flow, Pac everything, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like,
He
okay,
really went to
this
Pac's
is this
grave
this is different. That was
and brought
different.
him
It
out.
was like this nigga's different. But anyway, I gotta get going. Nice talking to y'all.
All right,
Later.
talk to you later,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
But no,
Yeah, look.
I
Is
really,
anybody talking right now?
I'm talking right now, Kia.
Okay.
Um, wait, can you hear me or?
Yeah, I hear you. I just
Okay,
was
okay,
gonna
bet,
say
bet, bet.
something.
Oh, what you gonna say? What you gonna say? I'm sorry, I thought you was testing it.
No, no,
Elon
no.
fucking us up.
I was just gonna bring up, I don't know if it was this record, but seeing in the Twitter streets about why was it okay for Kendrick to do what he did with Pac versus Drake doing what he did with Pac? Like, I saw that conversation. I just wanted to bring it up to see if anybody felt
I
any way
Well,
about that.
cause Kendrick sampled Pac.
I saw
Like
that too.
Kendrick legit sampled Pac. Like he sampled a Pac song and he used his flow. He didn't
I think
go.
it comes from a place of respect and integrity, and it's genuine love for Pac and what he stood for. It's not some gimmicky bullshit
It's not
to,
AI. It's not no
yeah, to
technical
basically
bullshit.
shit on the culture and make a mockery of Kendrick.
Like this is the same
Uh,
man who, like, when he sampled Michael Jackson on To Pimp a Butterfly, invited Michael's son over to listen to the project. Like this is not a man who just goes out there and is like, oh, I like this, I'm going to like sample it. Like no, he actually takes the time to either build a relationship with that person or try to at least like get some obscure thing. Like I think with Kendrick, it just feels a little bit more genuine. And then I think the main thing with Drake, why everybody was upset, was it was AI. You're taking a dead man's voice and you're using it. That's not okay. And you don't even have permission from his family to do that. That's just
and
plain
I think
disrespectful.
too, this kind of comes up in one of them video. I forgot what video it was for, but when Kendrick did the deep fakes, this was a conversation then too. And I feel like, granted, it was a very, I think the response to that was very divided, but there was a lot of support for what he did because, again, when Kendrick is doing that, it's coming from a place of respect, and he's trying to, in my opinion, invoke a feeling out of his listeners, that is also rooted in respect and integrity. Like it's not some weird gimmicky bullshit that he's just using them for a look or for engagement or a response. Like he's using it for a reason, and I feel like when you do things with intent, the response to that thing or whatever it is that you're doing is a lot more different than when you just doing shit just to do it and be silly. And I don't know. Like I just feel like the things that come from Drake and the things that come from Kendrick, when we talk about that in particularly, I just don't feel like Drake is genuine, and I think that's why he got the reaction he got versus
You
Kendrick.
said the magic word. The vocabulary word of the day is intention.
Yes,
And Drake had the intention of weaponizing it without the whole, like you said, it wasn't genuine. It wasn't genuine love or paying respects or whatever. The genuine intent was to use it as a weapon, weaponize it against somebody that is from that culture. Try to use it against somebody on like home field. So that's why it just didn't. And then it sucked. Like let's just be
that
honest,
part
it
it just
sucked.
wasn't good. Exactly.
Not only that, not only is he paying respect though, the story that he's telling is other legendary artist stories throughout the track. So that's another important thing. He used that as a platform, like literally on some like a children's story type shit. Like I'm going to tell. I think one of the assumptions is that one of the artists that he was talking about was Billie Holiday, and I don't know who the third verse was himself. So it's like he's putting himself in the conversation of greatness, but then also still finding creative ways to tell other people's stories, like through the concept of reincarnation. So I think that when you're doing something and it's with that much detail and that much research and that much respect, no one's ever going to challenge it. Like you taking some AI shit to use in a rap battle, that's not really respect for, our musical like ancestors and stuff like that. Like he did that in a real tasteful way.
The people that got
I
it
think
got
it
it the
also
first time.
stems from the. I think it also stems from. I think Kendrick told the story that he met Tupac when he was, I think, 6, or he was young. He met him at a show or whatever. So, I mean, seeing somebody that you in a rap beat with use this Tupac so called like rap to be like a aha kind of was like, oh, word, bet. And it kind of, I think he took that anger and just, not even just that anger, or just channeled that energy and was just like, I got something for you. And like from Drake point of view, it kind of came off as like a, I'm gonna use this because I know this gonna piss you off. And I'm glad he didn't show that and piss him off initially, even though he did say that you made me mad doing this. But with Reincarnated, it showed him like, if you're gonna do it with some real intention and do it with some respect, punk ass nigga.
All right. So with that, we're gonna go to. Well, I don't have much to say about Luther. To be honest with you, outside of the fact that I just love the fact that he sampled Luther Vandross, especially in this year. I don't know how many of you guys know, but Luther Vandross has a documentary out. It's in select theaters, but it will be available on CNN New Year's Day. And from the friends that I have that have gone to premieres and seen it, they said it's like a great documentary that really contextualizes just his identity as a black gay man, but also just his role in R&B and in music in general. There's also an exhibit on him right now at the Grammy Museum in LA, and it's running until June if you want to see it. And it has all of his like handwritten lyrics, it has his outfits, it has his Grammys, and it's a really dope exhibit. And yeah, I just think it was really dope to use Luther. Luther, of course, is like he's sampled in hip hop, but I feel like anytime somebody uses a Luther sample, it's always for like a certain type of aesthetic or reason, and it's always like to kind of get this loving message across, which I think is kind of dope. That like nobody ever takes a Luther song and is like, "Yeah, I'ma shoot you niggas," like over a Luther song. It's kind of like, nah, I kind of want to express this like vulnerability right now, which says a lot because again, him being a black gay man and him being known for making this romantic iconic R&B music, and for Kendrick to sample him and then just name the song Luther and leave it like that, and just even Luther's estate response to the song, I thought that was just so beautiful how they embraced it as well. So yeah, I really don't have much to say about the song because I really want to get some Man at the Garden, but if you have something super pressing to say about Luther, like I'm all here
Yeah,
to
I
can
hear
I?
it.
I want. Oh,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No,
Okay,
I was
I'll
just
go.
gonna say. I was just gonna say real quick. I'm gonna be real quick. I think Kendrick is. I heard Chris Rock describe why he walks up and down the stage with his microphone, and it's to keep people's attention. Because if you stand in one spot, people will fall asleep or go on their phone. So he walks up and down the stage with it, and that's what I think Kendrick does with his music, his music choices, his sample choices, his voice inflections. He keeps your attention, and you don't know what you're going to get. So, especially for this song, I know my best friend loves it. My mother loves the song, and when I go on YouTube a lot and I watch like video reactions of like kids and their parents reacting to music. So when I see a brother and his father and the father's reaction to the Luther sample was like I was about to cry. So I love that stuff, man. Like it brings people together when people can multiple age differences can relate, and I think that was a great connecting piece.
I think that's the beauty of two things to piggyback off what you just said. Number one, I'm finally glad that this is the year Luther Vandross is finally getting his flowers. Because for a long time, even in recent years, like people was kind of like sleeping on Luther when it comes to these conversations, not putting him in a lot of conversations. So I'm glad that this finally the year that Luther Vandross is finally getting the flowers he long overdue. That I wish he could have been alive to see. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar by far might be like one of the only rappers right now in a long time that's kind of been universally appreciated by every age group from baby boomers all the way down to Gen Z. And I think that speaks a lot to Kendrick, as an artist, that every generation, because hell, let the Gen X tell it, he one of their artists. Shit, let these old niggas tell it. But that's what I love about Kendrick.
I think the only thing I have to say about Luther, it's a beautiful song, but it's such a beautiful transition in the conversation of sequencing on an album. I think that he always knows how to get a start to finish album, which is something that a lot of artists can't hold anymore. They don't hold like the storytelling and the sequencing of like, okay, how do I get my listener to listen to track 1 through 12 without, feeling overwhelmed or without feeling like they want to skip a song. And I think the introduction of SZA's vocals, along with like taking us down from a squabble up and a whacked out murals into some like melodic vibes and like some positive like vibes with the Luther sample. Just a beautiful display of like sequencing on the album.
I
I
agree.
agree, and I think too, to that same exact point, he does it again at the end. With what song is that? The Heart Part 6 of the SWV sample. It's like he kind of weaves that in and out throughout the project, just different types of production to kind of just keep us engaged essentially. Like it's you getting these classic ass samples that everybody knows, and it like you hear it immediately, it just makes you so excited. Like, holy shit, this nigga got a fucking Luther sample cleared. Then holy shit, this nigga got SWV later on. It's so dope how they did the sequencing perfectly on that project. I really appreciate the
I
team.
agree. Yeah, I agree. And I just like to say that my music taste is very impeccable because I've been said that SWV's Use Your Heart is one of the greatest R&B songs.
Clock it.
Okay. All right. Anyways, and I'm gonna agree with you on the Luther thing about the sequencing because I think it goes beautifully into Man at the Garden, which I believe Kia, it's your time to shine, my sis.
Yeah, so Key at the Garden was such a great song that he put on the project. I really do I really do appreciate him dedicating the song to me. Like that was really nice to Kendrick, me and him chat sometimes. He texts me sometimes when we be having conversations. But no, I mean
Period.
I could go deeper into this, but I'm trying to write about it, so like I can't give all my thoughts away right now. But what I will say is that I know a lot of people have been calling it out about affirmations, right? And like, I deserve it all. He keeps chanting it and chanting it and chanting it. And while I do agree with the affirmations part of it, that second verse is very, very telling to me, as well as the ending of the third verse. I do, believe in the first verse he is, talking about himself, the VVS diamonds, the GNX with the seat back reclining, um, all of that, the respect, the accolades, like, no. I like that's what I deserve, and he's very calm about what he deserves. And then, I mean, I think at this point everybody knows like the song obviously references and interpolates "One Mic" by Nas. um, I'll include this part in here because this is something I was also saving for something I was writing, but I thought it was pretty fitting that One Mic was on the Stillmatic album, which came after the Jay-Z and Nas beef. And we have this song which kind of interpolates One Mic, which is coming after the Drake and Kendrick beef. So the piece that I'm working on right now is kind of like trying to contextualize that and the frustration and anger and how they both felt post those battles. Um so I'm not going to go too in deep into my opinion on that because I'm trying to save that for my writing.
We
But
can't wait to read it.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, girl. I
Um,
love when you get in your bag.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I've been having thoughts about this.
Yeah, key of the truth.
Especially Mark. Thank you. Well, Mark, thank you. I appreciate that because you're one of my peers that I do like. Yo, he one of them ones. So I appreciate
Oh, that means so much to
that.
me. Thank you, kid. I could give you a big hug right
Mark,
now. Thank you.
Mark, I'm not playing with you. This is you on bullshit
I
like
mean
Kendrick.
everything to me. I love you. I wish I could give you one of them bear
Mark,
hugs. We throw up in the air and shit and spin you around. I
Mark,
love you.
you are on Kendrick timing today. That is what
Cause
you
I'm
are.
a Gemini.
You
And that go
are.
back to the song. That go back to the song. Like that's another reason why this such a Gemini ass album. All of the deep love that he expressed on that bottom half. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, think about the sequence of that for a minute. The top half is all violent fucking rage and aggression. On the bottom half, he calmed down a little. He showing you the love, the deep love. Cause when Gemini love you, he love you. He love you all the way. Ain't no between. And when a Gemini hates you, he hates you
Yeah,
all the
y'all
way. He
Gemini some
wants you
nuts.
dead.
Y'all are some nutcases. I'm not gonna
This
hold you.
the year of the
And he
Gemini.
got a
Somebody, yeah.
Pisces moon, and I have a Pisces moon,
I
and we are the crash
I
out.
was gonna say,
Oh,
Kia, I was gonna say,
Pisces.
even though I'm a Capricorn, shout out to Jan, because my girl a Capricorn too. I do have a Gemini
Al,
moon.
I think his hands. Wait, sorry, Jazz.
You go say I just have a Gemini moon, so I'll be understanding him sometimes.
I'm telling you, them crash outs. But Yeah, like I was saying, the second verse, I feel like he's really talking to J. Cole. He says, "Cause my intentions were pure, even when you wasn't sure, even with every allure, how much temptation did you endure?" So that first part alone, I'm like, I feel like there was a conversation said between them. I know that was a rumor that there was a possible conversation between them, like when everything was going down. So I don't know, but I do know that J. Cole talks a lot about the temptations that he deals with in the industry, which is always kind of weird to me. Not weird, but it's almost like something about Cole be feeling unauthentic. And I don't really know what it is, but it strikes me as like the biracial kid who went to a HBCU and now they're like always dealing with identity,
Mm.
like, and now they're always dealing with this identity like
And
concept.
overcompensating type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
overcompensating. That is the exact word that I was looking for. Thank you so much, Milan. Like, it always feels like he's trying to overcompensate, whether that's his place in hip hop, whether that's how he like. It just always feels like he's trying to do that, and I feel like you don't need to. Which is why when he was going on his features run and he was out here rapping like I'm one of them ones, stop playing with my name. I'm like, oh, okay, now we finally getting the real Cole. Now we're finally getting who you are on the inside. And then when everything kind of happened with the battle, it was like, okay, so then what the fuck was all of that? Like who really are you now? Because I'm kind of conflicted on where you stand in this. But then Kendrick goes on to say, I'm showing up as a friend, telling truths better than your next of kin. Which I thought he was referencing really Drake because that's his brother, quote unquote, seeking validation for the aesthetics. You out here making songs talking about you apologize and you thank you for everything you did. Like you look weak. Like I see you as a human first, even when you didn't understand your worth. Like I always knew who you
That
were,
was a bar
even
to
when
me.
you didn't know who
Woof.
you were, even when
Woof.
your niggas that you standing next to didn't know who you were. I always saw
Woof.
something in you, like, which I will say, like, even looking back on that time period, Kendrick and Cole always seemed a bit closer than Cole and Drake. Not Cole was always the middle person,
Absolutely.
but it did always feel like Kendrick and Cole were more closer than Cole and Drake. So when that whole real oh we going on to it's really my brother, oh my god I love him shit was going on, it was like, well, this is interesting. you
It's
know,
like two fake bitches linking
linking
up.
up, yeah, and going exactly like
We
I
could get money together, but I don't really fuck with you like that. But we could
right,
definitely get this money together.
right, and like I don't know when he says at the end, like, pray for those who prayed against me, every reason why my ancestors sent me. Bitch, I deserve it all.
I nearly, I nearly passed away. I'm not gonna hold you
But
because
when his
that's
voice
a
started to
bar.
change and he says, "Keep my essence contagious." I burn this bitch down. Don't you play with me or stay with me. I'm crashing out right now. No one's safe. I did it with integrity and niggas still try to hate on me. Like that anger that he felt.
That's my favorite bar because I feel that every day.
I
That one
love that
and the
part
one
so
about
much.
his mama
Al, you have
deserving
your
it.
hand up. I thank you for being respectful, but you may speak.
Wait, Jazz, I think Jazz was trying to you can't hear Jazz?
No, I can't hear Jazz at all. I'm sorry, but Al definitely had his
Damn.
hand up for
Okay.
the
Yeah,
longest
Al.
time.
She could no,
I didn't
Jazz
even
can
see
land her plane.
this thing is glitching because I couldn't even see Al's hand up. I'm sorry, Al. Like it literally was not even showing me your hand was up.
It's fine. My hand been up since Luther, but we find Jazz can land her plane.
Y'all are so silly. I can't remember what I said. I was just saying that I felt everything Kia was saying, and I love when he referenced that his mother deserves it all too. Like I love that he just keeps his mother in the conversation.
All right. That was so okay. So the transition from Luther into this, because I do agree with everybody, the sequencing is great, and I feel like while he started it off with like just being aware of what the fuck shit that's going on around him, I do appreciate like to me, I took Luther as it was like mm, complimenting those who was there for the ride, like those who were there for you. And you know, it's like one of them instances where you may not have the strength to like face something by yourself, but if you know you got support from these other people behind you, it's gonna give you like that energy to kind of go up. So that's why I feel like I fuck with Luther like that. That's like one of my favorite songs off the project because I feel like he really did his thing with like just giving those who support him and who was there for him his flowers. Like I'm somebody like I request the same devotion. If I'm a ride for you, I'm gonna be there for you no matter what. So the fact that he did that in the midst of all the chaos, just to show like I show love to people who show love to me. So I see y'all out there. And then the transition into Men in the Garden. I see what you're saying, Kia, because I feel like it can apply. I initially took it as like my initial thoughts was this was a conversation I could see somebody having like a full on monologue in the mirror of a movie. That's what this gave me. Like it was like him talking to himself, holding himself accountable with like what he's seen and what he wants to do, and like reminding himself like stay true to this part of yourself. Like yeah, like you're not wrong. Like yeah, if we have to burn the entire world down, then we burn it down because you were standing on what you believe in. So I feel like that was like his self-talk with Man in the Garden coming off of him feeling that love despite all these other fuck niggas not fucking with him or showing how they feel with the Super Bowl and all of this shit. Because he still got those that ride for him and he could look himself in the mirror and have this conversation. I feel like that's how we get to the later half where like he's not as angry anymore, but he's more along the lines of like just fuck you niggas. But yeah, that was my thought of like Man in the Garden. Like I feel like if more people had like that face themselves in a mirror moment and had like a more of a Man in the Garden moment, the world would be a less shitty place.
But I
I
I
also
think
love.
think
Oh,
too,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
on top of what you're like, just to add to what you're saying, I think deserve it all. On top of it being like an affirmation, when you listen to everything he's saying in those verses, he's also laying out why he deserves it all. So it's not just him affirming, he's literally telling, like, I deserve it all because this, and that. And this is why I'm the greatest of all time, bitch. Like, I think that's the
Yeah,
energy that I got from that too.
you know what it reminded me of? Like when Issa Rae was having those mirror moments in her bathroom during
Yes.
Insecure. That's what this gave me of like him hyping himself up in a mirror and like letting him know like fuck them niggas. Like the world, we know the people, like he's the people champion. Like the people fuck with him, but he's let himself like these niggas may not fuck with you, but King, you here, King. Like we here, King. I see you. I like
Right.
honestly. Okay,
I just
I
didn't
digress.
see it that way. Like I really didn't. I saw it the opposite. I saw it as the Joker when he says, "You want to know how I got these scars?" Because he literally says dangerously, "Nothing changed within me. I still got pain in me." Like I came out here in the Joker and I showed you like who I was before I was the clown. And now that I'm the Joker, I need you to remember I still have scars here. Like I didn't take this as him talking to himself. I took this as him directly standing in front of everybody, waving the knife, going like, "Hey, I'm here." Like, I still got that pain in me. Like, I don't know why y'all think like I'm still not that nigga. I had to heal. Like, flip a coin. Want the shameless me or the famous me? Like, that's not me
Uh,
talking to myself. That's me asking you, who the fuck you want from me? Because I already done figured out who I am. Now, who do you want? Because
Unless
now
his
I know
self
the
is his
people.
higher self,
And
I mean, sure,
that's what I was
yeah,
going to say.
which would
if you
bring
That's what
want
I
to
was
it
say
going to
to
that, but
say.
I
which would bring it
still
to a
feel like it's
spiritual
like that.
level.
But I still feel like it's that whole thing of like I don't think we get to spiritual till reincarnation, which is why I feel like Man at the Garden is him centering himself. Like Man at the Garden is me sitting here because I have to sit with the devil on one shoulder. I got to sit with the angel on one shoulder. I know who I am. I know the peace I have within me. I know the anger I have in me. So which side of me do you want? Because then when we get to reincarnation, that's when he has the conversation with God. Like I don't want war. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Tell me what you mean when you say I want war because you act like this. Like I don't think like I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I'm viewing it. But like Man at the Garden is him sitting. He has to sit down first. Like a man got to sit down and like face the people. He got to talk to the people. So it's like which side of me do you want? And then when he goes back and he talks to God about it, it's like he said, I wonder what Lecrae would do. But he had asked that after he evoked violence. I already done killed this nigga. Now I'm asking, I wonder what Lecrae would do. It's like I'm gonna burn the shit down, then go talk to God and be like, I didn't want this. Yes, you do. You just burnt down the whole fucking town, nigga.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I think when you say like when he's talking to the other people, I think that's like his. I think those are like other like I. Oh my god, I don't want to get really deep, but I think
No,
he's
get deep,
talking
get
himself
deep.
Yeah, that's what
because
we here for. We get deep.
when he's having these conversations, I don't think he's talking to the other people. I think they represent his other emotions that he's going through throughout all of this. So yeah, he burnt this shit down. And he did that, and when he's coming to talk to God, I think he's coming to that vulnerable moment to like reconciliate what he did with it, why he did it, but then also with okay, do I take peace in the do I relish in the fact that they had me do it, or is this something I wanted to do? Like I feel like it's a full circle conversation that he's walking through himself with. I don't think it has nothing to do with anybody else, but I do see your point where he could be talking to somebody else. I just think that he's having this full on conversation with him and his different emotions. I can best way I could put it is his different emotions. That's the best way I could put it. I think he's talking himself through different phases of this, and I also
Yeah.
think he's talking to himself in the future tense of the album that we get.
Yeah, that's why I was saying. I think like this is for me, just as a on a spiritual level, it felt like he was talking to a combination of God. He was talking to himself, like he's having like a moment with himself. And if you reflect like a man in the garden, like I mean biblical shit, like the first man in the garden was Adam by himself. You know what I'm saying? It was just Adam and God at the end of the day. So for me, like just on that level, I feel like he was really having a conversation with his higher self. He was having a conversation with God, and that's what I personally had received from it.
I think too, to add on to that, because that's how I view it as well. I think in that second verse, he's essentially reasoning with himself. Like in the first verse, he's saying I deserve all of these things, and then he gets to the second verse, and he kind of just like, well, do I deserve all that? Because I know I crashed out. My intentions was pure, even when you wasn't sure. And like he's kind of like going through the motions, like I know I fucked up, and I might have been crashing out or whatever. And he's kind of laying all of that out, but then still like, yeah, well, I still deserve it all. Like I even though I did this, I
Exactly.
did that,
Yeah,
But
and
see,
even
I
though I
don't
did
feel
this, I
that
that's
did
until
that.
reincarnated. Like reincarnated is when I start to feel that. Like when he says, you fell out of heaven because you was anxious, didn't like authority, only searched to be heinous. Isaiah 14 was the only thing that was prevalent. My greatest music director was you. Like when he even the part right here in in reincarnation where he says I'm yelling, Father, did I get it right? Everything I did was selfless. I spoke freely when the people needed me. I helped them. I didn't gloat. Took control over my fleshly body when the money changed. Like to me, I think that conversation with God doesn't get till then.
yeah. So let me, because I feel like
Well, I
when he
don't.
gets back there, I think he goes back to his higher self. Like I think in this
Mm,
conversation with Man in the Garden, he is validating why he stepped out of his higher self to his lower self.
yes,
And the reason as to why he's still worthy and valuable to get back to his higher self, which he ultimately reaches in reincarnation. So that's why I think like he's doing all that affirming and stuff because he stepped out of himself. Now he has to reconcile with, damn, I let these niggas let me step out of myself. But was it really these niggas or was this something already in me and I already had this before?
Mm.
So let me affirm as to, because that's why I say in the opening track, he's talking about he's been talking about all the fuck shit niggas are doing and they're triggering him, and then
hmm
he's going to crash out. But he's realizing, okay, me crashing out, it didn't have nothing to do with them. It always had something to do with me. I was going to crash out regardless of the who the person was. This was just the opportunity, or this was just the catalyst that, well, this was the vehicle that drove me through the way. If this had to be it, then this had to be it. This had to be the vehicle that helped me on my journey. But now that I'm out of my body, how can you help me reconciliate so that way I can sleep at night going back up to my higher self or where I want to be?
and
Because
I
now these
think
niggas got me on this fuck shit.
and I think even when he's addressing how he got out of his body, he's still saying like, well, I'm showing up as your friend, telling truth better than your next of kin. I'm not asking for too much credit, and y'all are seeking validation for the aesthetics. Like he's still like addressing like I'm out of body, but I'm still trying to show up with integrity. Like he's still trying to list out how he's out of body, but he ain't that out of body. Like he still deserves
Yeah,
everything because he
exactly.
ain't really that. He ain't fall out of
I just
a
don't
line
think
too
he's
much or
talking to
cold.
himself on this song. I don't I just feel like this is really him. I get what you guys are saying with the whole out of body, inner body thing, but I really think this is him. Because literally at the end, he says, tell me what you think. Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time, motherfucker. That's literally, quite literally, how he ends the song. So for
But that
me,
could be
I'm
to
thinking,
anything though.
Yeah, I agree. Cause that's
Yeah.
like sometimes where I'll
Mhm.
be thinking about how some people be dealing with me at work.
Yep.
I have to talk to myself
Yep.
like, who the fuck do y'all
so
think
Yep.
I'm
we
talking
saying
I
that
to?
I
Kendrick,
agree.
so wait. Because then are we saying that Kendrick is questioning his own position, or are we saying that
No,
Kendrick is
no,
coming
No.
on this
Kia,
project
Kia.
knowing his own position?
No, he's foreshadowing it. That's why I think he left it as that because he's foreshadowing, well, what will make you the GOAT? And then as we progress, we'll be the ones to say, okay, this made him the GOAT. And he'll probably come back and affirm it later as to this is why I'm the GOAT. That's why I think he left it like that on purpose to kind of give us something to foreshadow or foresee when it happens.
I just don't see it that way. I'm gonna be real with you.
And
I
that's
don't.
And
okay
that's
because
fine.
all this shit
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
subjective. Only
And
Kendrick
that's what
knows.
music is. Music is subjective,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. We just see a perfect
Yeah.
in real time example of that
And we
shit.
said
I
you're
love it.
not wrong. You're not
Yeah.
Yep.
wrong because the
No one
song
is
could mean
wrong.
it could have
No,
multiple
I'm not
meanings to
saying
different
anybody's
people and
wrong. I'm
things.
just really like me taking this from what I'm just taking this from a lyrical standpoint of just having listened to the album and gone through the lyrics. I'm like, this is a direct response to someone. Like, I just, this wasn't the part for me where I took it as him really addressing himself. Like, I kind of took it more as like him addressing everyone else. That, well, not everyone else, but like, that's kind of what I took it as. Like, I get the outer body thing, but for me lyrically it just read as like questioning someone else. I think for
I can see
me,
why you say that though. I
Yeah,
can
I
see,
see that
yeah.
too.
like, I
And I
don't.
think for me, when he said it, I took it as, well, you already done killed the niggas and killed the party. Like, you done killed everybody. So who else is you talking to? Because
Two
everybody dead.
Right.
two things can
Yeah.
That's
also
what
Everybody
that's what
exist at
I
once.
there.
I don't think he spoke to Cole yet though. That's the thing. I feel like he was the only one. That's why he even said like you
Oh,
going,
I see. I
you know
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying. I
Like
see you.
Drake was the one
Yeah.
going at everybody. He from
Yeah.
the jump
He
said
that nigga
I'm
in the
next.
movie that you thought he died, but he didn't die. He come back at the end. I got you,
Like I
Kia.
said,
I see
even
what
with
you're
the
saying.
Joker, like that's why I keep going back to the Joker. It's like, yeah, he was like, okay, choose which one you want to die first. Choose which one you want me to kill off. Like which one gotta go. Like I think he went for the biggest monster, and now it's like, okay, now I get to talk to you the way I need to talk to you because, like, I wasn't going to be able to do that if he was in the picture. Like with him here, I ain't going to be able to get you to understand the bigger picture here. You talking about big three and all the rest of this
Yeah.
shit? No, nigga. Like this is what it is.
Oh, like you have
Okay,
to
bad bitch.
separate. You have to
Yeah, divide
separate.
and conquer.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. Okay,
yes,
okay. Got you,
yeah.
got you, got you.
Just going
Oh,
off
look
of
at
the,
us,
just
guys.
going
Look at
off of
us
the,
dissecting.
just going off of the, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I really wanted to get into this part of the album because I feel like this is the part of the album where he really starts to get into all the things that we were starting to get into. But from the man at the garden all the way down to I would say about, well, maybe if you take out maybe if you take out Hey Now, but like I feel like Man at the Garden, Reincarnated, The Heart Part 6, like that's when you really start getting like the root of like we what we were all kind of starting to talk about at the beginning. Where